The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Is it Friday yet?
That's part of my job here as host is to tell you what day of the week it is.
My favorite day of the week.
Party over here.
I just want to say that I'm really sorry for whatever I'm going to do at the party tonight. And I forgive all of you in advance for leaving me passed out by the elevator in my own gravy.
Ooh, doggy, we got a party now.
Uh-oh, do I hear a dial tone? 'Cause this party is off the hook.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
There you go, you goofy bastards. Look at you. You look like $1 million. Welcome to the Friday edition of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. You know, it's day 2 of the State Fair and all that. Today makes the first of 2 trips our morning program will be making out to the fairgrounds. You probably heard this jibber-jabber already, but just in case you hadn't heard, and you're already headed that way, and you'd like to stop by and say hi, we'd love to see you again. Or meet you for the very first time. We'll be out at the stupid 93X broadcast setup thing from 10 a.m. to noon. Keep in mind the rules. I only ask that you keep in mind a couple of the rules that I've laid out already. Rule number 1, buy something or get out. Rule number 2, no men.
Oh, is that a new one?
Did I not mention that yesterday, Josh?
Well, you did off air.
No dudes.
Because you were deciding, is that rule number 1 or rule number 2? And then that's how you ordered it this morning. No men.
Oh, wow. I think we're all looking forward to getting out there, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
So hungry.
We're very...
So yours is food motivated?
Oh, I can't wait to get there and get some food.
Dude, same here.
Wapple's shaking hands with the people. He's got just barbecue sauce all over his face and greasy hands all over Wapple.
It'll probably be relish and mustard.
Yeah.
We are very appreciative of the support we get from our listening audience. We appreciate each and every last one of you very much.
Don't you wish we got that level of support from people in this building? Management, co-workers, things like that.
I think we both gave up on that idea a long time ago. But I want to make it very clear how highly we think of our listening audience. I want to make that very clear because at the booth today, I'm going to be very standoffish and antisocial.
You did come in today and say you were exhausted.
I am going to be one tired little slut out at the fair today.
You just couldn't get any sleep last night, or what's up?
I can't get any sleep. What's her name? Ashley. I can't get any. So, when I get there, I might even make a couple more rules once we get there. Once I get a good look around, I might make a couple more rules.
Nick needs a chair.
Hey. Absolutely. Last year, I was able to get a chair. Thank you for bringing that up. Maybe we got any lawn chairs in the garage or anything here before we leave?
I believe we do, yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I need to sit down because my legs aren't what they used to be. I might make a couple more. Well, I'll wait till we get there, but I'm thinking about a no kids rule.
You know what you could do? You know, a lot of times around here, I'm your conduit to conversations with other people where you'll say, hey, tell this person this, and then I'll say to that person, Nick says.
Yeah.
And then they'll, like, maybe look at you because you're right there and talk to you, and I have to say, No. You say it to me, and I say it to Nick.
Right.
As a matter of fact, just a couple days ago, I was talking to our engineer, and he's like, so how does it kind of work like if I want to get a message to Nick, I just go through you?
No way.
Like,
he was so serious?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, oh, have you heard this too?
Yep.
Wapple? Okay, yeah. And, he called me and said, and I didn't know. I started laughing, you know? And he's like, no, for real, is that how it's supposed to go? So I said, as a matter of fact, yes. You're welcome.
Well, it seems like the sales staff, too, they send me emails to tell Nick some info that they need to get across. They're like, hey, can you please tell Nick this? We really need to get this done.
They understand me.
I
They
get
understand me around here.
I also get that from the boss. Can you make sure that Nick completes this training, please?
Unbelievable. Sorry about all that, Cubby. I know you've been dealing with that for years.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone always bothers you about...
The only time it bothers me is if there's times I'm like, the guy's not an idiot. He can figure it out. He's pretty bright. He can figure that out. He doesn't need explanations for that.
I wouldn't guarantee any of what you just said. So there you go.
Montana Musket Loader Jesus, good morning to you. As Nick said, we appreciate you listening. He wants to know if I will have a pickle incident this year. Now, while that was at the State Fair, and I'll explain, that was actually a car show that they had, out at the fair. And I had visited our trooper friend, Gordon Shank, and I was talking to him and some other alpha males, right, other troopers.
Sure, yeah.
Having a great time. I love those guys. I love them. So much respect. They're fun to hang out with. We've known Shank forever. We've known a lot of the State Patrol for a long time.
We knew him when he was just a little Shank.
Yeah, he was the tiniest Shank.
Yeah.
Now he's smallest Shank you've ever seen.
Now he's a big, studly Shank.
So there you are amongst all these tough guy cops. And,
having a nice conversation. Right?
Yeah.
And then I walk away thinking, wow, that was great. That couldn't have went better. And I realized the entire time I was eating a giant pickle in front of a bunch of men.
It's funny you bring that up because the other day, like last week, I was at a sandwich place, and I was ordering my sandwich, and they also had giant pickles. And I wanted to get one, but I'm like, but I might pull a Josh on accident, so I'm not gonna get the giant pickle.
I've kind of learned over the years and embraced my real role is to do all these awkward, embarrassing things. So hopefully I can make it easy for you guys to remember, no, don't do this.
Yeah.
That idiot fellatiated a giant pickle in front of some alpha males.
There's a lot of people in the sandwich place, and I'll pull a Josh with this pickle. I know I will. I'm not going to do it.
When I half thought, maybe they didn't really pick up on it. Because I'm a passionate eater. And
yes, you are. Yeah, you attack that.
Somebody asked me.
Whatever it might be,
Yeah.
when it's go time, when it's dinner time, lunchtime, you maul your target.
It's pretty much the only joy I get in life.
Eating.
I wake up and think, when can I eat next, and what should I eat?
Eating and sleeping.
And I don't have to think too much about what should I eat because it's pretty much the same thing every day. But so I barely got across the street when it dawned on me, and I thought, oh my God. So I text Shank, and I said, hey, I'd just like to apologize for deep-throating that pickle. Hopefully you didn't notice. He's like, nope, we started talking about it the second you walked away.
Oh, no.
God darn it.
That makes it so much worse.
I know.
But you know what the good news is it didn't occur to you at the time that you were making a fool of yourself. It didn't, right?
It was immediately as I walked away.
Wouldn't it have been worse if you would have seen them see you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
see them looking at you in a certain way.
They say ignorance is bliss, and so I wish that I never even occurred to me. So this year, the State Patrol is usually there the first Monday. I'm going to go there and I'm going to eat a very drippy vanilla cone in front of them.
No.
Just mostly melted.
If you noticed mid-conversation, would you have brought it up to them or just tried to slide out of the conversation and get out of there?
I would have brought it up. I would have apologized immediately and brought it up.
You would have thrown the pickle away and then apologized. Yeah, I know you fairly well at this point.
And it's the worst because I was bringing my mouth to the pickle. That's even more suggestive.
Yeah, it is.
You know what he's saying. At least you didn't. In the moment, you weren't embarrassed by all this. You had to be informed later. Hey, you kind of look like a jackass there. There's nothing quite like doing something silly or foolish, and then you notice that the whole room has been watching you the entire time. There was an episode in high school where, when I was in high school, my favorite thing in the whole world was to get to school. By the time I was not getting to school wasn't my favorite thing in the whole world, but my favorite thing in the whole world, if I had to be in school, was by the time I was a senior, we had this cute little concession stand. There wasn't much back there, but what they had back there, chocolate chip cookies and chocolate milk. And so right when I got to school, I'd get myself a couple of chocolate chip cookies. I'd get a couple of those little mini cartons of chocolate milk like you see at school, right?
Those slap.
Bingo. Delicious. Chocolate chip cookies and chocolate milk. And then what I'd do is I'd put in a big fat chew. Oh, I love the taste of a mint chew right after I had all that chocolate. You follow the flavor combination? Quite glorious, right? And then I'd go sit in this little room in the lunchroom. By the time I was a senior, they created something called the Senior Lounge.
Nice.
And if you were a senior, you could sit in that lounge and watch television.
Oh, sweet.
Right. And so I skipped a lot of classes, so I'd sit in that friggin' senior lounge all morning long. And especially right after I had my cookies and my chocolate milk and put in a big fat-ass mint chew, I'd go sit in that senior lounge. And then I'd take one of the empty cartons, and that would be my spitter. Tobacco chewers are listening right now going, oh, wow, this sounds great. That was like a source of comfort for me, right? So one day, I get into the senior lounge, I wiped out the cookies and the chocolate milks, I put in that fat dip, and I'm sitting there. And chewers probably know this. Sometimes when you have chocolatey stuff and then you put in a chew, it gets a little messy.
Yeah, I bet,
yeah. Thickens up a little bit.
It thickens up, exactly. Great way to put it.
Less viscous.
Oh, God. So there I go with my first spit, right? Chew is brand new and juicy. My first spit is like you could tie down a boat with the what am I trying to say, Josh? It's like so thick. It's like you could.
Gross.
It's
like a bungee cord.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it sort of, I spit and it kind of gets on my thumb, and it sort of went into the carton, but it didn't. It also ran down the side of the carton. So then I take my free hand and I try to correct it, and then I notice that some of it is still hanging off my lip.
Oh,
and
that's a beautiful
And then
picture.
I see that some of it's on my pants, and there's a strand going from my lower lip to my elbow, and I'm battling, and I'm thinking, well, at least nobody's and I look up, and there's a table full of girls who have watched this entire process.
What was it? Were they laughing or disgusted?
Oh, they were disgusted. Oh, God.
That's worse.
Oh, no. And there's nothing I can do at that point than come off like a child and just take my whole sleeve and wipe my face. And
You're like Spider-Man when you first get your web shooting powers.
Exactly. They watched the entire disgusting process.
What year was this?
1989.
I see something.
AD.
So, yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure came out. You could have thrown out the I meant to do that line, or was that past?
You know what? Maybe it was still hot, but
Yeah.
I wasn't that. So here we go with State Fair Day 2. We'll make a couple more announcements, I'm sure, this morning on where and when we're going to be later.
Hey, I'm excited about this. Crazy Fish Guy Jesus, thanks for the text and listening. He's going to bring a cowboy hat and some aviators for me.
All right.
Last year, people were nice enough to bring sunglasses so I could prove in person that there's not one pair of sunglasses that look good on me. But he's going to bring a cowboy hat. And in the past, I thought I could pull one off. I'd be curious to know what you guys think.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited because last year I brought in a couple cowboy hats. And because you were going to wear one, but they were all too small, so hopefully this one will fit.
I mean, again, Josh and I have the largest skulls in Hennepin County.
They fit my stupid small head.
They did fit your.
I'm looking forward to seeing this as well. Now that you bring it up, I think I've seen you in a cowboy hat before. I don't remember, but here's the thing: the sunglasses bit from last year. Somebody gave you some decent aviators.
Yeah, fun size Jesus.
You did look good in them.
Oh, I didn't know it was up to good. I thought it just wasn't bad.
It was doable.
Okay,
but it didn't take. You still never wear sunglasses.
Rarely.
I've never.
By rarely, I wore them this time last year at the state fair.
Well, right.
I kept them. I just haven't put them on yet.
So we're going to continue to work on your look at the fair this year.
Yeah, I'd like to know, if you guys think I could pull it off. I thought back in the day.
I'll be right there for you.
I could.
I'll be right there. We'll check you out, see what it looks like.
I also look better in black and white. I don't know if it's possible to make that happen at the same time, but I'd like to try that out in front of you guys. Now, what do you think? So I was going to shave Beardsley. I've been growing a little bit of a beard.
Your beard looks great.
Yeah, I like it, by the way.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
My wife does because it hides my face. She hates my face.
Stop that.
I told you yesterday your beard was looking good, didn't I?
Yeah, and I was going to shave it yesterday.
No.
And you said, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. So do you think that'll help with the cowboy hat?
We'll find
Oh,
out.
definitely.
We'll find out.
You know what I think would really help with the cowboy hat? Nice pair of assless chaps, too.
I could make that happen.
There you go.
Wait a minute. I just realized I'm going to be wearing a cowboy hat and basketball shorts.
Totally.
Yeah.
You just have to look at me from the neck up.
Yeah,
That's the
definitely.
look everyone's going for
We're
nowadays.
not going to try not to focus too much on the complete.
If we take pictures, it'll just be from the waist up.
Don't focus on the complete total picture, just from the neck up.
Cowboy hat, aviator, sweatshirt, basketball shorts.
It's funny.
That's a real Doc Holliday look right there.
I had a buddy give me crap about basketball shorts, right? And my stepson was there, and he's pretty hilarious. And he was saying, he's like, hey, but what if somebody needs his jump shot? That's right.
Exactly.
What if all of a sudden somebody just needs a decent three-point shooter or something?
Hey, we only got 9. We need one more for 5-on-5. You're in?
Someone's trying to rob you. Unless if you can make this three-pointer, I'm going to shank you.
No, check it out. I got basketball shorts on. I obviously can hoop.
You don't want to mess this crossover up.
I'm looking to see. I'm looking forward to seeing you in that setup, Cubby. No doubt. Dana, did you put together this State Fair drinking game?
Yeah, I did.
This sounded like your style here. State Fair drinking games. Hell, I remember a few years ago someone. By the way, did someone just fire a weapon? What the hell was
someone
that?
hit their nose?
I knocked my water bottle on the microphone. Like
You
that.
have water bottle issues, I've
I
noticed.
do.
Yeah, sometimes we'll hear just ice rattling, and I'm looking around for someone making a martini or something like that. Your water bottle's become a character on the show.
It really has.
I remember a few years ago there was State Fair bingo.
That's always fun.
We've had different half-ass morning show bingo games pop up over the years. Listeners have created these funny bingo games and whatnot. This is a straight-up State Fair drinking game that Dana created. Let's see how you think you'd fare as I roll through some of these scenarios. You take a drink anytime you see each of the following. And maybe if folks really like this, maybe we'll put it up on the, the website, and you can bring it out today if you're spending the day out there today. State Fair drinking game. There's so many different directions you can take at the State Fair because you get a little bit of everything out there. Take a drink anytime you see each of the following. A kid on a leash.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
just saw one the other day.
Did you really?
Yep.
Yeah, it seemed like at any place like a state fair, a lot of people, you'd see those kid leashes.
Yep, I was at the zoo, and it took me out because the little girl was like trying to walk with dad, but mom had the leash in her hand. And so mom was talking to the kid and was like, "Oh, do you want dad to walk you?" And I just thought that was the funniest thing ever.
That she asked which parent she would like to have walk her.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's too close.
if that family's planning on seeing us at the fair today, the little kid and the dad not allowed. The mother stop on by. Kid on a leash. I don't think I've ever seen a child on a leash, but I don't go to many places where there are children.
I just see them on the snowboard hill and stuff like that.
Oh, that's smart.
A triple. What about? Why would you have a child on a leash at a snowboard hill?
So they don't get too far in front of you. You can kind of control how they're moving.
As a part of showing them how to.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, I bet, just to rip it real hard and then watch them fly through the air.
I bet that is fun.
Go off a jump and they have to come with you.
A triple wide stroller. Special bonus if it's blocking a huge crowd of people from getting through a this or a that.
That's fairly common.
Triple wide stroller.
Oh, yeah, you
triple
see that.
wide strollers are fairly common.
Yeah.
I've seen that for sure.
Jesus balls.
Seems like they are always blocking your path, too. Any stroller. Or they're
Well.
walking too slow,
All right.
hitting your ankles.
Wapple's got all kinds of issues with strollers, apparently.
You know what? F strollers, Waffle.
Yeah.
No strollers at the 93X booth either.
There's my rule.
How
No
about
strollers.
take a drink when you see someone with a little case of the Green Apple Quick Steps, meaning they're heading into the John with a little extra
Giddy up.
pizzazz, a little extra giddy up to it.
You can tell they mean business.
Okay, all right.
That is funny to see something like that.
Yeah.
And you just say prayers for the person.
Just doing the shuffle, and you're just hoping that there's open stall for the poor guy.
They're trying to get through the crowd, and then they get hit by a stroller.
I think there should be a police escort for stuff like that.
Someone with about 40 of the plastic bags around their wrist filled with the free junk that every booth gives away.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I know exactly what you mean with
I always noticed that there's people that just have all the bags, they're carrying around all those plastic bags that have like a ruler and a coupon in them and stuff like that.
Like those little hand fans with pictures of Shaver or different news people on it.
You can never put the one bag in another bag because you have to show how many bags you actually have.
The rain slicker. Poncho is the word, yes, that all the television stations give away. I'm seeing where you're going with that. Take a drink if you see a horse taking a giant deuce in the middle of the street.
Oh, yeah, you'll see that.
How about if somebody steps in it? That's more fun than mine.
Bonus. Finish your drink if you see someone step in it.
A lot of times it's a minefield leaving this building with goose poop out back.
Yeah.
Oh, is it bad back there? There's none in the front.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say bad, but there's always some.
How about take a drink when you see a drunk person in line to get another Steve Weiser that they surely do not need?
Have you ever seen someone cut off at the fair? I guess I haven't.
No.
I'm sure they do.
No. Yeah.
I just haven't seen it.
Cut off.
But I don't like to stay late.
Yeah, I haven't been at the fair past dark in a long time, so I'm not sure exactly.
I don't know. Cut off at the fair. Good question. Someone dropping their food on the ground. You take a drink. You finish your drink if they pick it up and eat it.
5-second rule.
My wife has a 1 week rule. Like there's.
Wait a minute now. There's a difference between the 5-second rule in your own home or at a restaurant, in my opinion, or the 5-second rule at the friggin' fair. We're talking about outside, dirt, grass, horse manure.
I think it depends what the food is.
Okay.
I always feel so bad for those people.
Yeah, it does suck.
Feel bad for what people?
When they drop their food, especially if they just got it and they turn around and then someone bumps into them and then cheese curds everywhere.
Or I feel bad. Yeah,
I feel so bad.
I'm with you. I feel bad. And then sometimes you'll see the kid do it. And you can tell the parents, I just spent $30 on that.
Yeah.
And now it's gone.
Like the parents telling the kid, all right, grab it by the cone over here, not up here. And then all of a sudden they grab it, it smashes in their hand.
Well, you see a lot of dramatic things when you're out and about.
He's very observant.
I don't. And another thing I hate, when people are at a restaurant and they're just eating by themselves. I don't know why.
Oh, I love going out to eat by myself.
That's called master dating. Did you know that?
No.
For Christ's sake.
That's the new term.
I was just reading about that.
Yeah, master
I love
dating.
doing that.
Maybe we can talk about master dating later.
Yeah, I just feel bad for him. I'm like, oh, dude.
I like being by myself.
Same here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cheaper.
But you would go to a sit-down restaurant like Applebee's.
Well,
and
I never
sat by yourself. And
I went to Olive Garden not too long ago by myself.
Oh, that's a power move right there.
It was awesome.
Wapple, it'll be all right.
yeah, I hated that in the kitchen. I would look out and I'd be like, oh, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm making you sad, Waffle. Give me a free dessert next time.
Did you mainline some Red Bull before we went live or something? What are we doing now? Again, the State Fair drinking game. When you see a pair of pissed off parents who obviously regret the decision to bring small children to the fair, you take a drink.
That's people I feel bad for, too. You can just see they're
Same.
so exasperated and just exhausted with life.
Yeah, a lot of my friends, they go to the fair twice. Once without and then once with.
That's smart.
A couple sharing their food and thinking they look so adorable.
I don't like sharing food.
A group of teenagers taking a selfie in an inconvenient location. You take a drinky.
That was the worst when there was what was it, Pokemon Go or something? Whatever people were playing at the fair one year.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
it.
awful because people would stop in the middle of they'd be walking perfectly normal and you'd be behind them, they just dead stop.
Yeah, cell phones have made a difference with people not really paying attention to where they're walking, and certainly selfies.
And then Wapple would say, and a guy has a triple-decker cheeseburger, and he's on a unicycle, and he's balancing a beach ball on his head, and then he loses all of it.
I wouldn't feel bad for him.
A politician walking around with a fake grin on his face, desperately hoping someone will recognize them and come talk to them. If you see that at the fair, you take a drink. On the same note, a radio personality walking around with a huge fake grin on their face, desperately hoping someone will recognize them and come talk to them. A dad who spent way too much money at the Midway to win his kid a stuffed animal he could have bought on Amazon for $20.
Oh, that he has to carry around.
How about just the oversized, stupid stuffed animal?
Then and then you carry that around all day. You got to put that towards the end.
Yep.
I remember always wanting to win that for a young lady, right?
Oh, sure.
When you're a teenager. Like, I'm going to be the hero here. She's going to be carrying around a giant pink gorilla this whole time.
A person in a concert shirt for the band playing the grandstand that night. That's a cute one.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Drink when you see that. Oh, some of this stuff is kind of an inside look into Dana's mental condition.
I would agree with this next.
A kid getting pulled in a stroller eating cookies with a big smile on their face that fills you with rage because you know that you will never be as happy as that kid right now.
Oh my gosh!
How'd you come up with that one?
That got deep.
I was just picturing things you see at the fair, and you see a kid like that, and think about that. Like, life doesn't get any better than that. You're getting pulled around in a wagon. You're eating cookies. Like, that's good living right there.
That was the life.
Eventually, it comes full circle, Dana. Eventually, you're sitting down on a lark. You know, as time goes by. When you get older, you have that happiness again. You sit down in a lark. Your grandchildren go and fetch you food at the fair. I've seen that played out. And just so you know, the happiness isn't completely over once you get beyond that
It gets better?
That childhood. Well, it comes back to where you began.
Bad and then better.
I love that you look at other people who are happy and it makes you miserable.
Rage.
I've never once felt that way.
It all comes full circle is what I mean by that. Drink when you see the annoying group of people doing a scavenger hunt. See, now, I wouldn't feel right calling them out because I'm involved with an annoying group of people who's currently playing a drinking game. You see what I'm saying?
People do scavenger hunts there?
What's that?
I didn't know people did scavenger hunts at the fair. I mean, that makes sense. I want to be involved in one of those.
Make a few phone calls.
I will.
And finally, our little state fair drinking game. The guy at the Midway, this is good, the guy at the Midway who will soon be a candidate for Tommy John surgery because he's trying to impress everybody at the baseball speed pitch.
There's always somebody that's a little too old in line for that.
Oh, a little too competitive.
Yeah, just trying to re-harken those glory days. A little too hard.
I've seen some near fights at the one where you use the water gun to try and burst the balloon.
Oh, sure.
People next to each other.
I still love the speed pitch gimmick where you step up and make a couple of throws with the baseball, and if you can guess the speed of your second throw, you win a Toronto Raptors hat from 15 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That part attracts me where I can well, actually, I have a New Orleans Hornets hat that I won at the speed pitch a few years ago. There's no such thing as the New Orleans Hornets. There used to be, and that's part of the attraction, but maybe this is a look into my mental health. Here, I have a beef with the speed pitch setup. It's meant for you to naturally throw a baseball, but yet I'll be hanging out there, because I dig it, like I already stated, and teenage kids will walk up and say, yeah, I'll go, and then they make someone clear a 30-yard space for them to get a running start. And I want to say, I'm sorry, what brand of baseball do you watch where you get a 20-yard running start and then you use your entire body to catapult the baseball as fast as any baseball has ever tried? That's not how this works. You go into a windup. You saw the footage of me at Target Field. I know all about pitching. That's not right. If I were the guy working the booth, I'd say, no, there's no running starts. So you can throw 80 as opposed to your natural 60.
Have you guys gone into the building where the Timberwolves have like their little basketball challenge set up? That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. That's neat.
Yeah, that's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You know, a lot of us don't need a drinking game at the fair. We just drink our balls off. But if that's your style, hell, have at it.
Anyone here going to have a cold one while they're out there?
No.
I definitely will be.
I will not be drinking today.
That's against company policy. Busted.
No, my boyfriend's coming to meet me out there, so that'll be nice. And then
it's against company.
It is against company policy.
Didn't you hear how I said I'm not going to be?
Later.
The boss is still in town.
Later.
What do you mean later? What time later?
Afternoon.
Company policy.
After 12 o'clock.
I just want you to know, if I see you drinking one, I'm going to narc. I've got Cumulus on speed dial.
I'm sure you do.
I'm going to call the big boss. Catch who's drinking.
Oh, yeah. We will throw you under the bus.
They'd be like, who? Who's that?
That's true. Well, they'll say that once I call. Who are you?
Before we take a break, I want to tell you about a quick drinking game. I want to tell you quickly about a drinking game that I played at the Renaissance Festival many years ago. I've only been there twice. I went there when I was 6 or something, and then
I used to go every year.
I never
place.
got involved in the Renaissance Festival. To be honest with you, I don't get it.
It started this last weekend.
Okay, fair enough. I went there when I was a tiny little kid, and then I went there, how old am I now? This must have been like 15 years ago. And I embraced the idea of, normally I'm not a drinking game guy either, but I embraced this idea because the Renaissance Festival is not my type of thing, so I'm looking for something to keep me entertained. So,
having a couple of ales and a couple of goblets?
There you go. We got some tall beers, and this was the game. Like if Josh and I are playing, we both have a full beer, and let's say Ashley walks by. And if it's my turn, I assign Josh to Ashley. I say, that's her right there. All right, I say this to Josh. Okay, that's your target right there. I point at Ashley. When I do that, Josh has to follow Ashley wherever she goes, and as long as Ashley is walking, you just follow her.
Oh, no.
If she stops, you have to drink until she starts moving again.
Dude, I would notice like right away. I'm like, what's this dude doing?
Part of the fun is when they notice that you are following them. But, again, that's the game. So then, if it's Josh's turn and Dana walks by and Josh selects Dana as my target. Josh says, that's your target, points at Dana. I have to follow behind Dana wherever he goes. If you stop, I have to commence drinking. Once you start moving again, I can stop drinking. So as you can imagine, if some people stop and stare at a sword swallowing event or whatever they do at the Renaissance Festival, if Dana stops and stares at that for a long enough time, I guzzle my entire friggin' beer.
I'd pick an old person.
Oh, exactly. That was the thing. Is
you get wasted pretty quick.
That was you did not want your opponents to pick an elderly person. Sometimes you don't want them to pick a child. That's the mind F of the whole game. I thought that was a lot of fun, and we did get pretty ripped.
I bet.
So keep that in mind if that's more your speed.
200 people arrested for stalking at the Minnesota State Fair.
It was
and
funny.
They were real drunk.
It was fun watching, some people notice. Like, what the hell are you doing 6 inches behind me with a full beer? That kind of a thing. Where are we? Friday morning dad fights a little bit later on. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder. And you know what? I completely forgot. We have something or another we'd like to throw your way, but maybe we'll wait until the beginning of the stupid news to throw this special announcement your way. How does that sound, Josh?
Yeah.
All
this
right.
is great.
Fair enough, because we have some more big news. We got something we need to jump on. But we'll take a break right now. Come right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
It's time for kickoff, and the Believe podcast will get you ready for the new season.
How do you live through this as a Detroit sports fan?
Believe has podcasts covering all 32 professional teams and many of your favorite college teams, too.
You solidified your defense. You got better.
Sideline to sideline, end zone to end zone.
If you don't do those things, then you're not even trying your hardest to win at football, and I don't know what we're doing.
There was a lot of great players on those teams that I was fortunate to be part of.
Search BLEAV podcasts wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
We gotta handle some business here before we start jagging each other this way and that in the stupid news. We're falling all over ourselves because of the state fair, and I get it. But hell, it's already time to move on to the next big thing. Here we are, honored to announce the 93X Rock the River Cruise, our fall boat party. It's coming up Friday, September 22nd. Friday, September 22nd is how you say that. working with the folks at Paddleford Riverboats. We'll launch that pig from Harriet Island in downtown St. Paul and float down the river. And there will be drinking, beer, and liquor. And you'll never be sicker.
Well, that was my experience last year. It had nothing to do with drinking. We had to name that boat Infect the River.
You get to soak up that hooch with free food from Lucky's 13 Pub.
One of my favorites.
There will again be live music. Will I play drums to a White Lion song again? I hope so.
Oh, I loved that.
Did you like that,
Yeah,
Ashley?
I have it on video.
I appreciate that. Maybe this time, maybe I should play Love Don't Come Easy as opposed to Wait. I don't know.
I do
I'll have
love
to talk
that song.
to it's a great song.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah, I'd love to, but you'll punk out at the last minute.
I've never punked out at the last minute.
I don't think. I thought last year you were going to come up there.
They never invited me. Yeah, I would have.
Well, that's not right.
Well, I mean, I think they probably didn't know I could play a tune or two.
You'd get up there and play some White Lion with me?
I kind of want to play some Ozzy.
That would mean everything to me. I don't care who it is.
Well, what if we played some Rat?
That's great. Anything.
Oh, now I'm super excited.
Wait. No Extreme. I don't like Extreme.
I know you don't.
We're not playing Extreme.
And I'm thankful because Nuno Betancourt, the guitar player for Extreme, I don't think I could play some of that.
All of this is sponsored by Anytime Bail Bonds. And you can buy your tickets at 93x.com. It's time for our fall boat party again. Rock the River Cruise, Friday, September 22nd, out there in St. Paul. Go ahead. Jump on our website. Take a look-see. Is there something or another up there already? I was told there was going to be something or another up there.
It should be up there.
It's up there.
Nice. And be listening later. Maybe we can dump some passes on you. You see what I'm saying?
Lake Street Handshake Jesus wants to know if the riverboat cruise will be ending at a reasonable time. I'm sorry to say no. For some reason, it's going to 10 p.m. I don't understand that. We're against it. That's far too late on a Friday night, but it'll go until 10 p.m.
Yeah, I don't like it.
September 22nd. A couple people wondering if we said 27th. No, 22nd.
Yeah, I struggled with that. But there you go. We're all set to have another fall boat beer party. Oh, and before we get to the stupid news, we were having a conversation about the state fair and some of the shenanigans you can get involved in when you're out at the fair. Maybe some of you like to play a bingo game. Some of you like to play a drinking game. Here's an interesting idea from a listener. You ever heard of this before? Okay, one of the adventures of going to the fair is the stacks and stacks of horse manure up and down the street, and this way you step in it a little bit. Maybe you'll get lucky and you get to watch a small child trip over a big pile, or something. Listener says, here's what you do. You gather up some of that horse poop. Now, first things first, I don't like the sound of that. You gather up some of that horse poop, you roll up a few poop dollars, and scatter them around the fair. You watch people pick up money filled with poop. It's a pretty good time.
Oh.
You guys ever played that?
No.
That's wrong.
I saw it on Workaholics, and they called it poop dollar.
Oh, my gosh, I remember that.
They called it what?
Poop dollar.
Yeah, they said it like that every time, too.
They sat on top of their roof in lawn chairs drinking beer, and they'd just watch people go down the sidewalk picking up $1 that was
rolled up. You roll it up like a cigarette?
Yeah, so then they see the dollar, but then there's poop inside.
Inside the dollar.
Yep.
I've never watched that show, but I have seen that clip.
Yep.
Poop dollar.
It's a very funny show.
I don't know if I'd go that far to collect horse turds just to watch somebody. But I suppose if we're talking about turds and the state fair, I could tell my poop boot story again. I even had a request yesterday from a listener to hear the poop boot story. A number of years ago, we were young and drinking heavily. My buddy Hot Tub was involved. We were in one of the animal barns, and as we're walking out onto the street, we're just about on the street, exiting this animal barn. There in the middle of the street is a knee-high rubber boot that you might wear while shoveling animal turds. It's a knee-high rubber boot, and it's soaked with liquid animal feces.
Yeah.
And it must have fallen off the back of somebody's car or wagon, or off the back of maybe it fell off a farmer's foot. We don't know. But it's knee-high, and it's absolutely soaked in green animal feces. Okay? And my buddy Hot Tub, who's a buck wild character, he's had way too many drinks. As we get out onto the street, he picks it up and he throws it blindly into the crowd of people. And it splats across. I mean, it splashes across the chest of a random dude who's got a beer in his hand. Just, you heard it just go pop across this guy's chest. And I braced myself for a fight. You can't throw a soaking wet animal diarrhea boot at somebody and hit him in the chest with it and not expect to get your ass kicked.
I would have kicked his ass.
I braced myself for a fight. But the guy that took the soaking wet poop boot across his chest, he went, and he put his arm around my buddy Hot Tub and they walked down the street together.
That's awesome.
I love men sometimes. Gosh. Instant best friends.
Yeah, and Hot Tub said, as they're walking down the street together.
That's the nice thing about the fair, is you could throw a poop boot and find somebody who's equally as drunk as you.
Do you ever get flashback, Nicks, when you go past like the cattle barn about falling in the turd trough?
No. But that brings up an interesting story. Are you mistaking? I fell into a cow turd trough, but that was not at the fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was at the farm or something.
It was at a but I see where you're going with that, though. No, maybe I should have trauma and flashbacks from that. When I was a young kid, we were visiting a friend of my dad's dairy farm. And in one of the barns, maybe some of you farmers can tell me what was going on here. In one of the barns, you got the cows lined up, all of their faces up against the wall. There's probably about a dozen cows deep on both sides of this little barn. And in the middle of the barn, there was a massive turd trough that the cows sprayed their turds into. You see where I'm going with this? The cows are ass to ass, and they crap into the... So there's this massive turd trough, and it was... I mean, I was probably an 8-year-old, so the turd trough was, I don't know, 3 feet deep with liquid cow manure.
Oof.
And as soon as we walked into this barn, the farmer and my dad said, watch your step around the... Ah! And I went right into it.
Right away.
I went up to my nipples in liquid cow feces.
How much sympathy did you get? Zero?
Oh, my God. Minus 1,000. Everyone's screaming with laughter. My brother is having the time of his life.
Did you get a nickname from that at all?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Oh, that's lame. Missed opportunity.
I think we were too young. Maybe if we would have been 13 or 14, I would have gotten, poop nipples or something. But since I was so little, we weren't creative enough for that yet. And then for whatever bizarre reason, I just kind of smeared all of the liquid feces off of me. There was no effort to clean me up, and then we got in my dad's pickup and rode home. There was no spraying me down with a hose. I don't know, maybe because my dad grew up on a farm, so he didn't look at it as a big deal. He'd huffed more cow manure than most people, at that point in it. So he did get in the truck, and I thought, get in the truck? I'm caked in. No, we got to go.
It'll harden and fall off.
So there I sat in the middle of the pickup truck. I was sitting in the middle. What do they call that? Isn't there a term
Shotgun?
No, shotgun's on the... Anyway, I'm sitting in the middle of my brother and my dad, just this massive stick of dried cow manure. And we went all the way from Mankato home.
If I was your brother, I'd be like, bro, get away from me.
I don't know why there was
Touch
no effort.
me?
You guys are very poop tolerant in your family.
I suppose. All right. Here we go with the stupid news. A very handsome and healthy-looking gentleman is leading us off here. I don't know if we have the mug shot up on our website, but once I get through with the story, Smashley, you can fill us in. A very handsome and healthy-looking gentleman who was wearing a T-shirt that said, "I'm the reason the beer's always gone," got pinched for a DUI. Yes, he did. And yes, it was in Florida. Cops said he was driving almost 3 times over the legal limit. That's where the laughs kind of end. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good bit, though.
What the hell's the matter with this guy? This effing garbage bag human being, 41-year-old named James Nicks. He sucks. It's one thing, in my opinion, get a little careless and have one too many. This effing prick was going 89 in a 45, and he's 3 times the legal limit.
Oh, just out here trying to kill people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when the cops flip on the cherries, he keeps on going. He turns off the lights on his pickup to try to get away. Eventually, he gave up. He smelled like booze. He had an open bottle in the cab. And when the cops' body camera footage kicked in, if you watch the body cam footage, it shows the guy wearing an "I'm the reason the beer's always gone" t-shirt.
Little levity to a cop's day, I'd imagine. Not the terrible decisions this guy made, but the shirt he's wearing.
Absolutely, Cubby.
He probably saw him and was like, oh, nice, you shop at Spencer's.
You lied, Nick.
What did I lie about?
He is not a good-looking man.
Oh!
You lied to me.
I suckered you in.
I think more than anything, Ashley, you're unable to pick up sarcasm.
There's two words that came to mind when I first looked at this guy's mugshot. Sunblock.
Yeah.
This dude is as red and irritated as your average everyday herpy.
Yeah, his head just looks like it hurts.
Yes.
Like his face looks like it's in pain.
Yes, he needs to put some sunblock on. Well, he doesn't need to worry about that now. He's going to jail.
He's got kind of a faux hawk, but I don't think it's on purpose.
Oh.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
More predictable crap from this drunk. Cops say he went from cooperative and in a good mood to verbally aggressive along the way. And like Josh always notes, there are stages here. That's the usual progression for drunks. I would imagine, Josh, at one point or another, he was crying like a child.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of doing a ride-along when they pick up a drunk is you get to watch those stages where they could not be a more polite person, understanding and remorseful for their decision, and then yelling at the cop, it was a trap, this is your fault, and then crying and apologizing. It's fun, and sometimes it cycles through a few times over. It's good entertainment.
I want to watch that.
You'll be there someday, Ashley.
Hopefully.
By the way, I got a message here after I shared my manure pit swim meet that I went to, a solo swim meet in a cow manure pit. Wisco Maple Syrup Jesus tells me that lots of people have died from falling in manure pits from all the methane gas.
Yeah, I've heard that. When we talked about it before, I remember asking you if you got knocked out or anything, because sadly that's happened.
That's a crappy way to die, pun intended. That's awful.
That is a crappy way to die.
How'd they die? Fell into a bucket of manure.
Death by poop.
Suffocated on turds.
I must have a high tolerance for, how do you say it, methane gas.
Well, you put up with a lot of crap around here, I'll tell you what. Don't do that to me.
Oh. This is it. CFH bass player Jesus. If you're riding in the middle of a pickup truck, you're riding bitch. How come I couldn't come up with that?
Well, I was afraid to say it. I don't know.
Same here. I wasn't sure if there was like a real name for it.
I've also heard skiing position if you're driving with a couple of guys.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know if we could say that or not.
Maybe I shouldn't have. And then we got this cutie pie here, too. Another good-looking mugshot. A much less dangerous character here. I think I can fairly say that. Police in Indiana arrested a guy for driving a toy car while he was all effed up on drugs.
Oh, those are fun.
Well, of course they are. It's a toy car.
I always wanted one when I was a kid, but my parents never bought me one.
Yeah, me too.
So now I have to use my nieces and nephews, and it's not the same when, you're not supposed to have over 100 pounds on it.
I would have took anything. I would have took the Barbie mobile. I just wanted one of those things so bad.
I wanted a Hummer.
Here's the deal. An Indiana state trooper was on patrol Wednesday night. It was around 9 o'clock. He saw a man driving down the road in a Power Wheels Jeep with no lights or reflectors. A Power Wheels Jeep. Anyone have any kids or have a nephew or a niece or a grandchild that's got a Power Wheels Jeep?
We've got a dune buggy at home.
Dude, sweet.
My niece has a Mercedes-Benz.
Wow, bougie.
Yeah, me and my sister went in and got it for her second birthday.
You got it for her? You went in there and got it for her second birthday.
I mean, it makes sense.
That's well said.
It totally does.
This is a 51-year-old man riding around town in a Power Wheels Jeep.
By the way, it's 31% off on Amazon right now if you're in the market for one.
They found out his name is John, which is stupid. He seemed impaired. They gave him a field sobriety test. He failed. he was under the influence of meth and marijuana joint sticks. And he got arrested. But I don't know, Josh, you want to put a positive spin on this? So this guy's young at heart?
Yeah, he is young at heart.
Yeah.
He's just having some fun.
Riding around town in his Power
Maybe
Wheels.
not the best decision.
No.
I hope they impounded the little Power Wheel.
He was likely not going to kill anybody, but he probably could have easily been killed if you're a 51-year-old in a Power Wheels Jeep going down the highway.
You guys know I'm the Pete Alonso of this show, a big, strong guy.
Big, strong guy. Man.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand how he could fit in one.
Maybe he's a tiny little dude.
Fit.
He doesn't look that small, but again, I guess you're seeing him from the chest up.
Yeah, some people are tiny their entire lives.
Because I couldn't even fit in ours.
I thought this was cute. In the comment section at the end of the story, somebody posted, "Those Jeep guys always got something going on." I'll tell you.
It would be kind of cute. We've talked about the ducking before with people with Wranglers where they put little rubber ducks on the, antennas. It'd be cute if the kids had that thing going, too. I'm sure, have you seen that? Like with the Wranglers on the dashboard, it's just loaded up with ducks.
Yeah. Yeah. My boyfriend's mom and dad have a Jeep, and I think it took them like a day to get a duck.
I've heard that gimmick before. I don't think I've ever seen it in person.
That and the Jeep Wave. That's the other thing they have.
You know what? I've been ignored on that. My wife has one, and the times I've driven it, I've been completely ignored.
That's messed up.
I don't think so, Josh. And they're just not looking at the right times, maybe. You're keeping an eye on the road.
Yeah, that
like
is
you
true.
should. I'd wave at you. I don't care what you were driving.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I'd hang right out the window.
Oh, this happened to me again the other day where I waved at somebody who waved at me in the neighborhood, and she was opening up her garage door.
Oh.
How does this keep happening to you?
Josh.
It's the second time.
Same neighborhood?
Yeah, I haven't moved since then.
Well, I couldn't remember if it was the old house by Penis Park.
No, yeah, this is not Penis Park.
How many of us played the Grand Theft Auto video game, Ski?
I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
I played one of the versions very briefly.
Sorry.
And you guys made fun of me because I followed all the rules of the road when I was in the vehicle.
I love doing that.
Stopping at stoplights.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun.
Signaling.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes, though.
I did a little bit of everything. I mean, that's one of the few modern video games that really grabbed me. I don't remember which version it was. I think it was the very first. But sure, some nights, Josh, I would do the law-abiding citizen routine, and then other nights, to be honest, I spent most of my time in the game having sex with street corner prostitutes. I loved that gimmick.
Yeah.
And then the controls got too complicated and I quit. But it says here in Los Angeles, some puke bag stole a Rolls Royce and escaped the police by hiding in a tunnel, quote, like it was Grand Theft Auto.
It's pretty funny.
This pursuit began 10 miles north of Los Angeles in a town called Pasadena. The suspect performed several dangerous high-speed maneuvers on the freeway. Cops in pursuit decided to back off. The police helicopter tracked the prick for a while. By the time the pursuit reached downtown Los Angeles, with a 5-star wanted level, they say, the driver of the Rolls was desperate to escape. He cut across busy intersections. He almost collided with several cars and pedestrians. Then the car thief hid in some type of a tunnel/parking garage setup. He's hiding from the helicopters. Now, because the patrol cars had pulled back so far, it was several minutes before the cops could get a closer look at where the bastard went. They say here that by the time the police reached the scene where the car disappeared, it's likely that the suspect had enough time to escape by foot. Shortly afterward, the pursuit was called off. As of the writing of this story, neither the Rolls-Royce nor the driver of the car have been found.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
you don't see Rolls-Royce too often on the road.
No.
Rolls-Royce. That's all very exciting. I mean, of course, until somebody gets killed, but the bit does have a very Grand Theft Auto feel to it.
Yeah.
Well, the guy had two options. He could have either hid in that tunnel, or he could have gone into a drive-in paint your car location, painted a different color, and then the cops wouldn't know it was him.
Oh, right, just like in the movies.
minute.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I remember that.
Yeah, you just go in, it sprays, and all of a sudden your car's a different color.
It's like a Dukes of Hazzard episode.
Stars are gone.
Yeah, cops are none the
Magic.
wiser.
Got to make sure you have the money, though.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah, I made that mistake.
Wait, you've made that mistake?
What do you mean?
What mistake was that?
Not having money? Yeah, and you pull into the little garage. So you can't do anything, so you just have to pull right back out.
And then all the cops are on your ass.
Yeah, then they're
You're
like right there, and you're like,
dude.
I messed up.
There was a stretch of time where everybody in town was getting themselves involved in spicy tortilla chip eating challenges and such. How many of you went ahead with that?
No, I never tried
Ashley
it.
did.
Yep, I had a little bit of the chip here on air.
My wife did that.
These nuclear hot chips, you see how long you can stand it, and then you drink a bunch of milk, and then you pour some cinnamon in your mouth.
And you're on the toilet the rest of the day.
We still have that super hot gummy bear that we ordered because Ashley was going to eat it. Then we decided we didn't really want Ashley to die on the radio, so it's still in the box.
Okay, the spicy chip. Right, I remember Ashley doing that. Oh, yeah, Cubby, and your old lady. What do you think about this? One of those spicy chips out there is so hot, it almost burned a lady's house down in a town called Springfield, Missouri. Well, sort of. I'll explain. The gal was arrested for first-degree arson. This is a hell of a story. According to the local cops, they rolled up on the scene to see smoke pouring out of the house and a group of people standing out front. I don't know why that cracks me up, but it does. A witness pointed to the homeowner, a 42-year-old gal named Patricia Woolham, and the witness said, "She did it. They lit it, boys. They lit the damn house." What documentary? Young Guns. Reap it, Murphy, you son of a bitch. All right, back to the fire. Witnesses inside the house. Watch this lady, Patricia Williams. This is so effing strange. They saw Miss Williams pour gasoline from a soda bottle onto laundry on the floor of the laundry room. She then lit a Takis tortilla chip. Takis.
Yum.
She then lit a Takis tortilla chip on fire and tossed it into the laundry room.
Shouldn't have like a piece of paper.
And the fire took off like a bastard. Everyone escaped the house without injuries, but that's how she started the fire.
I didn't know you could light one of those on fire.
No.
There's a reason why she used the chip. I'll get there in a minute. Earlier in the day, this lady was seen at a gas station surveillance setup prepaying for $2 worth of gasoline. So I'm assuming that was just enough to fill the pop bottle?
Yeah.
Now, here's a gal who keeps an eye on her bottom line, huh, Cubby?
Mm-hmm.
So she admitted...
It's responsible.
Yes. I'm not going to buy any more gas than I need. She admitted to police she started the fire intentionally. She said she used the chip because she knew it would support combustion because of the grease content.
She's obviously bright.
Yeah, she did her research on this.
Maybe bright's a strong word, but she has her moments.
What the hell goes on in this lady's effing head? I guarantee you'll probably never hear of another arson case where a fire was started in that fashion.
Well, we have a house that is loaded with Takis.
Dude, they're so good.
Takis. I've heard it said out loud before. What's so special?
Yeah, I never had one.
They're just like they're just a spicy chip, but they're very good.
Have you ever watched a kid eat a blue one? Don't watch them eat the blue Taki. They look like a Smurf afterwards. And I've heard it affects your poop. I want to have you guys over, and let's just have a bonfire with nothing but Takis.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like if that burns, it would like burn your eyes. The spice.
Well, then I'm going to put you on the windy side.
The eyes. I'll give it a shot, Josh. If you want me to try a Taki, by damn, I will.
We got some.
But you don't like spicy food, do you?
No, I don't. But I mean, I'd try one if you wanted me to badly enough.
Should we get one out of the vending machine?
No. I'm enjoying my.
We got a day today.
I'm enjoying my Gatorade and whatnot. I've got things to do later.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're at a house party, like you were describing, a house party. The guys in Young Guns were at a house party, and then they lit the house, boys. Remember when Dirty Steve said that?
That's a good movie.
It's been a long time.
Hey, Kenny, you bastard! It's you and I! Last words of Charlie Bowdry right there. He was a pugilist. I hate you guys.
I love you.
He doesn't know to respond. He didn't hear that very often, so he doesn't know how to respond.
You know what? Yeah, his parents never said that to him.
Sometimes I really hate you guys.
At first I thought, well, that wasn't a nice thing to say, but now I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm on your side now.
I knew you would come around.
Yeah.
All right, I got to do this one real fast. I don't want to be running late today. I'll be damned. A monkey was spotted at a Popeye's chicken restaurant in Florida. It was driving a Honda Ridgeline with a bumper sticker that said, "My other ride is your mom."
Oh, man.
No,
That's
I'm
hot.
kidding. A monkey wasn't driving a motor vehicle, but I guess it still shocked the hell out of people to see a loose monkey roaming around town like he was. A gal working at the Popeye's drive-thru window said it was the weirdest thing she's ever seen. Oh, wait a minute. You work at a drive-thru in Florida and a monkey's the weirdest thing you've ever seen? I don't know this gal, but I'm going to doubt that statement. The gal said the monkey appeared to know how to navigate the streets.
Did you guys ever hear the story out of Egan? There's a McDonald's by me. Well, I guess rest in peace. There was one by me where a monkey attacked a drive-thru worker.
No.
You hear that story?
No.
This was, I don't know, I'm going to say 15 years ago or more. And it barely made the news because certain companies are very good at, PR.
Covering it up, yeah.
But yeah, I talked to a person who would know a cop, and he told me about this. He's like, "Did you know that happened?"
A monkey crawled up the drive-thru window and attacked the worker.
Yeah, it was like somebody's pet, and it jumped out the window and attacked the worker.
He's pissed that the ice cream machine is
Now,
broke.
this is all secondhand, right? But I heard the worker's doing just fine in the compensation department after that.
Man.
Secondhand information,
I don't know
but
that
a trusted source.
That's fascinating. I don't know that I ever heard about a monkey attacking the drive-thrus in Egan.
Yeah.
One day you just go to work your what, like $12 an hour job. Next thing you know, you're getting attacked by a monkey.
Was it a situation where Charlie said, "Billy, I got to get out of here. I got a wife, a little Mexican gal." And then Billy said, "Charlie, if you don't stand up and fight, you're never going to see her again."
You're thinking of a movie.
Oh, was that Young Guns?
Yeah, it was Young Guns.
All right.
You got a one-track mind. He hates you guys.
I wonder if this monkey is a scout for the Monkey Brigade. You know how I'm sticking with my theory that the monkeys have been watching us, and they see how violent and stupid we've become, and they think they can do a better job running things here on Earth, and they're probably right, and they're planning a hostile takeover. I wonder if he was a scout. And to be honest, I might just take up sides with the damn monkeys when the showdown begins.
I always do that. I like to wait and see who's going to be the clear winner, and that's who I choose to side with.
That's just being smart. This Florida monkey had the phone ringing at the cop shop like a son of a bitch. They got multiple calls about this monkey on the street. It's been identified as a rhesus macaw monkey. I think I'm saying that right. The cops say, "Don't try to capture this effing thing. It'll tear your jaw off of your skull. Don't try to feed it. They can be very aggressive." The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission are on the job. It's unclear if more than one monkey is on the loose. Now, this species of monkey is fairly common at a place called the Silver Springs State Park down there in Florida, so the silly bastard probably just hopped the fence. As far as I know, this monkey is not native to Florida. The rally monkey, though, is native to Anaheim, California.
It is. I love the rally monkey.
That's the extent of the monkey knowledge that I have.
Couple of hit tunes.
Haven't heard of much of the monkey gangs in Thailand.
No.
Yeah, where have they been?
I follow it. They're terrible, man.
They're staying under the radar for a while. It's all in their plan, I think, Wapple.
I get it.
They're throwing kids off of roofs.
Yes.
Sneak attacks. Sneak attacks.
A couple of hit singles, Josh says. I was just watching the monkeys on television the other day.
Oh, where do you watch it? I haven't seen... I used to love that show.
You know, I dummied down my amount of television channels, and so I only get a few nowadays. But it's the same channel where I watch Cheers. It's called Decades.
Oh, I haven't even heard of that.
And the other day they had a Monkeys marathon. By God, they were so good.
So funny.
They were so funny. Davey and Mickey and Peter and Mike, they were... I watched a few episodes in a row. I had forgotten how friggin' great those guys were together. And Davy Jones, God rest his soul, is just simply one of the coolest sons of bitches to ever live.
Totally agree.
They sang I Want to Be Free on the show. They sang Daydream Believer.
And he was handsome his entire life.
He was. from start to finish. If you haven't seen the music video for Daydream Believer, where they're all sitting around the piano, you know the video,
Yep, of
and
course.
they got the colorful background, and Davey's doing his Davey dance. It's just, I almost started to cry.
And why haven't the Beatles written the Monkees a thank you note for giving them a career?
I don't know. What time is it? We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning
We
Show.
hate you guys.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yowie wowie! Bray Wyatt, you left me with no choice. I sentenced you to deletion! Delete! 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 So what do you say? You want to see my secret? Let me in, let me in.
I'll be damned. Plenty of you have been texted in this morning. Did you know that Bray Wyatt passed away? Are you going to talk about Bray Wyatt? Yes, we're very aware. It's a terribly, terribly sad day when a young guy like that just ups and dies. The only reason we haven't covered it yet is we just haven't had the time. We have plenty of time coming up in about 25 minutes. Josh, I don't know if you're going to cover some of it in your news.
Yep. I'll start the news with it.
This is a very tragic situation. It almost leaves you speechless. I mean, it's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing when Terry Funk passes away at 79 years old, but Wyndham Rotundo, real name.
Yep.
Bray Wyatt, whatever you want to call him, dies at 36 years old. This is just absolutely awful. We'll try to cover it as best we can when we have more time. Real quick, before we get out of here, what a terrific Twins game last night. That was absolutely outstanding. Ryan Jeffers with the 2-run dong in the 8th, with the game tied at 5, wins the game for the Twins. They beat the Rangers 7-5. That was a great game. I hope this series continues to be great. They'll keep it going tonight. 7 o'clock on Bally Sports with Sonny Gray on the bump. Dad Fights 100 plus 41 coming up also in about a half hour. Stay tuned for Josh's news.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey Minnesota, CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Want to feel better, get more exercise, or quit tobacco? Prescription for Wellness can improve your health with personalized sessions based on your schedule. Our expert health coaches and care managers use proven techniques. It's free for UPMC Health Plan members and could lead to the results you want. For more information, visit upmchp.us/pfwellness. That's upmchp.us/pfwellness.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
And the new WWE Champion, Bray Wyatt! Sister Abigail from out of nowhere! Yowie wowie! Bray Wyatt, you left me with no choice. I sentenced you to deletion!
As we touched on earlier, unfortunately, today makes 2 in a row with news of the passing of a popular professional wrestler. WWE star Bray Wyatt died yesterday of an apparent heart attack. Wyatt, whose real name was Wyndham Rotunda, has been inactive over the past several months while dealing with an undisclosed health issue. He came from a wrestling family. His father, Mike, gained fame as Irwin R. Shyster, as well as in other promotions under his real name or Michael Wall Street. When he was first joined the WWE in 2010, he went by Husky Harris.
Oh!
Bray also wrestled as a masked alter ego called The Fiend.
Yes, he did.
And, my son, he's 11, and he's a big wrestling fan. He was heartbroken over the news like most wrestling fans. And, Bray Wyatt especially, my son was terrified of The Fiend.
I love it. I love it when you bring that up. Yeah.
I'm not... Terrified
like
is underselling it.
Hiding behind the couch.
But loved The Fiend,
way.
and as soon as the lights would go out, he'd know, oh no, here comes The Fiend. He'd hear that laugh.
I mean, it was a creepy character.
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, Bray Wyatt was a very talented guy in all of the aspects that you'd want from a television wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He was so skilled in the ring. Sister Abigail was such a cool finishing move.
Cool.
But he was so good at being creepy. Whether it be the Bray Wyatt family character or the Fiend, I mean, he had every damn thing.
I absolutely loved when he did the Bray Wyatt with the Firefly lantern. When he would come out with that, and then everyone would put up their cell phones, like the lights, and it would look like fireflies in the whole arena. It was so cool.
Like you were hinting at, I mean, so many wrestlers who, had some outpouring of feelings online had said stuff like he was so versatile. He was so creative and so good at pretty much everything you can think of. But my son was so affected by The Fiend that I had to, we would Google him in real life.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say, look, he's a dad. Here he is with his daughters, just show he's not a real Fiend.
At one point, I thought you said, it's just like Kiss. They take off their makeup.
It's just regular people.
Just a regular bunch of dudes.
He did not believe me whatsoever. And so I'd have to remind him at times, no, he's a good guy playing a character. That's all it is.
There have been, I shouldn't say very few, there have been gimmicks that take over. Stone Cold, DX, Help Me Out Wapple, The Rock, Kurt Angle, where when they enter the ring, everyone sings their song. Everyone knows their catchphrases. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where
like Edge too.
It becomes bigger than the show. Bray Wyatt, whether it be the Wyatt family or the Fiend, had that draw where there wasn't one swinging D in the arena that didn't know exactly what was happening or what this character's purpose was. The sayings, the songs. It's a real shame that he's gone so soon because this guy had the potential to be a star for 25 more years.
And way too young. Only 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's too bad.
It was a heart attack.
Yeah, this morning they're reporting it was a heart attack.
I hadn't heard that.
And I saw that last night too. It's like complications from COVID, and that turned into a heart attack. And
is that right?
That's awful.
Yeah, this is a real sad shame.
Way too young to go. And can I be honest? That the Fiend kind of freaked me out a little bit too.
No!
Looking at those pictures of him as a family man actually helped me too.
It comes out.
Who said that?
All along, your child is seeking comfort from you, and you were a little scared at the same time.
I played brave, you're being silly.
No, I think Josh is telling the story reversed. It was his kid that'd be like, "No, Dad, it's okay. Look, he's a family guy.
You son of a bitch! Why would you?
The couch.
You've betrayed me,
man." It's hard to believe. That was really, really shocking when that popped up yesterday afternoon. Really shocking. Didn't he have a couple of kids?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, 4, I believe.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
2 with his current wife, 2 from a previous relationship.
I don't know if it was true, but I always heard that he was working on a horror movie too.
I can believe that.
And that's why he took a hiatus from WWE for a little bit.
Oh, is that why? I thought they had said he was maybe sick. But
but I don't know if that was the cover-up that they were trying to put, because this shocked everyone.
How much fun was that Firehouse Fun show? Or whatever?
Firefly Funhouse?
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's sort of interesting that Pee Wee Herman just passed, because that was his version of Pee Wee's Playhouse, and it was so much fun, and the obvious tributes to Pee Wee's gimmick in Bray Wyatt's gimmick was fun to watch. What a terrible shame.
Yeah, shocking and sad.
Yep.
A 40-year-old man in Washington State was arrested over the weekend following a bizarre series of events in which he allegedly broke into a home while a teenage girl was in the house, forced his way into a car in the garage, and then when confronted by police, began chugging gasoline straight from a container.
I thought he was just walking through, trying to go somewhere, but not breaking into someone's house. He's carrying a ladder and a gas can.
According to a press release from the Seattle Police Department, about 11:30 a.m. last Friday, they responded to a 911 call regarding a possible break-in. Shortly after climbing through a window into the home, the suspect allegedly rummaged through the kitchen and ate some pizza and chips while apparently talking to himself. Upon arriving at the scene, officers heard loud banging noises coming from inside, so they busted through the front door and began a search. Once inside, officers found the suspect first inside the homeowner's car, parked inside the garage, holding a gas can and a hammer in his lap. As they ordered him out of the vehicle, he could be heard saying, "I don't want no problems." As police continued to order the suspect to exit the vehicle, he refused and began drinking gasoline out of the container.
How is that even? So he just drops dead, doesn't he?
No, he seemed like he was fine. I mean,
Jesus.
What? Ew.
In this clip, you can hear a cop get surprised by what he saw.
Open it now. Open the door or we'll bust it open. Drop it! What the?
Yeah, as soon as he starts drinking, the cop's like, are you kidding me? Police broke the driver's side window, pulled the man out. After placing the suspect under arrest, they located the 17-year-old female on the second floor of the home and escorted her to safety. The man was treated by paramedics at the scene and then taken to jail.
Oh, she must have been terrified.
She was. They said she was too scared to even open the door for the cops, so that's why they broke the door down. Police arrested a man going door to door searching for actress Drew Barrymore's house.
Oh, no.
What?
Chad
Leave her
Bustow
alone.
was in the Southampton area Wednesday afternoon going door to door telling residents he was looking for Drew. His arrest comes after the actress and daytime TV host was whisked off stage when a man widely reported to be Bustow, the same man, yelled at her while she was hosting a conversation in New York City. The man shouted at Barrymore before a bodyguard stopped him from rushing the stage and led the actress to safety.
Sell people. Oh my God! Yes. Hi.
I'm Chad. You know who I am. I need to see you at some point while I'm here in New York City. Okay?
Oh, boy.
No, he sounds very, very scary.
He did eventually find Drew's place, unfortunately. He walked up some steps outside before the cops showed up and busted him. Drew was not home at that time.
You know who I am?
No.
She does not. Now she does.
All the restraining orders possible on that guy.
He wouldn't be doing that if the Fiend was still around.
The Fiend would take him out.
Dude.
A Florida man was arrested yesterday for watching a woman through her bathroom window while naked, and I mean him, not her. 71-year-old David Henning was allegedly entering the victim's backyard through an enclosed privacy fence and secretly watched her through the bathroom window. She got ready for work. Deputies said Henning had no pants or underwear on, completely exposing his genitals. The victim reported the incident to deputies on Wednesday, who observed Henning in the act the following day.
You're under arrest. Obviously, you have no pants. You understand?
Yes, can I please get dressed?
Yes, please do.
What do you have over his face?
Nothing.
It sounded like he had something over his face, didn't it?
Yeah,
pair of drawers in his mouth or something?
Let me put my pants on.
The perv admitted to regularly entering the woman's backyard and watching her because he was curious, he said, and sexually motivated to see her naked.
That's creepy. He had his own underwears in his mouth.
I hope I grow out of that by 71. Well, wait, I'm not into that. I just thought of something. I'm not into that. But if I ever was.
The curiosity of a naked woman?
Yeah, peering into somebody's window like that.
I'm curious. You know who I am.
Skippy.
You do. Say that you know who I am.
It's Governor's Fire Prevention Day at the State Fair. Learn life-saving measures and see the impressive work firefighters do for their communities. Day 2 at the fair brings the Chicks to the grandstand, and Kevin Bacon, who leads the Bacon Brothers, play their second consecutive night at Liney's Lodge. All of us here at the Morning Show will be at the 93X booth later this morning. I apologize for Jordan Max fan. She was planning on joining us, but she's feeling a little under the weather, so she can't be there today. You can pick up new 93X gear if you want. Register to win an autographed Godsmack guitar, hang out with us from 10 to noon, and then stick around for Pablo broadcasting live in the afternoon. Our booth is on Dan Patch Avenue, across from Sweet Martha's Cookies, the location by the grandstand. Next week, Slipknot and Stone Sour frontman Corey Taylor drops by the booth Monday afternoon, and the Morning Show will make a second trip out there next Friday as well. Brought to you by One Nation Exteriors. It's a big weekend in movie releases with a lot of new options in theaters today, including Liam Neeson's new action thriller Retribution. An American businessman receives a bomb threat while driving his children to school and must follow a series of orders or his car will explode. Also in theaters, from the writer of Rudy and Hoosiers, Dennis Quaid in The Hill, the remarkable true life story of Ricky Hill's improbable journey to play Major League Baseball. Nick Cage is back on the big screen with The Retirement Plan. When a woman and her daughter get caught up in a criminal enterprise that puts their lives at risk, she turns to the only person who can help, her estranged father, whose secret past comes to light. Gran Turismo is now in wide release, and for the 30th anniversary, you can relive Jurassic Park in theaters. It's been re-released in real 3D-equipped theaters.
Oh, my God, Jurassic Park.
That's right.
I wish I could do that 3D stuff. I just get so sick.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, that happens to people.
I've never seen I take that back. Avatar was 3D. I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that'd be cool to see in 3D.
So I have seen that in 3D. National Cinema Day is back. Discounted movie tickets this Sunday, one day only, over 3,000 participating theaters across the country. It'll only be $4.
$4?
$4.
That means you can bring 2 of your friends.
Yay! To purchase tickets or find a full list of participating theaters, check out 93x.com. Did I say something?
No.
Just that you can bring 2 of your friends.
I haven't gotten any sleep.
I thought something slipped out that didn't work. On the streaming side this week, Vacation Friends 2, starring John Cena and Steve Buscemi. How do you pronounce his last name?
Buscemi?
John Cena and Steve Buscemi in a movie called Vacation Friends
2.
Part
Vacation
2.
Friends 2.
First one was very funny.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
I'd say pretty funny.
I never heard of it.
Now on Hulu, a couple meets up with another couple on vacation in Mexico to see their friendship take on an awkward turn when they get back home. Now on Netflix, Adam Sandler and his real-life daughters in the coming-of-age Netflix original comedy, You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah. The movie follows a girl planning a kick-ass bat mitzvah until a boy comes between her and her best friend, triggering a series of revenge schemes. You don't hear this too much. Yesterday I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes, 100% so far.
Really?
It's being very well reviewed.
Don't see that for an Adam Sandler movie.
No, you don't. Not for Adam Sandler. Then today on Max, the streaming premiere of The Flash. There's also a lot of new music out this week, including Asking Alexandria with Where Do We Go From Here? This is one you're excited about, right, Waffle?
Yeah, I've already gotten halfway through the album. I'm really impressed.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I love that. Hell yeah, dude.
It's been 11 years since Death Clock topped the charts with Death Album 3. This week they're back with Death Album 4. And after working on the album on and off for several years, Filter released their new one today called The Algorithm. For the rest of what's new in rock, check out this week's notable new releases post on 93x.com and our playlist on Spotify. We got one of those. Sunday, Aaron Paul, Jesse on Breaking Bad, turns 44. WWE star The Great Khali will be 51. And
oh, my God.
Old school WWF star Sergeant Slaughter, the namesake of my wife's Jeep, gonna be 75. Tomorrow, Melissa McCarthy from Mike and Molly and Bridesmaids turns 53.
Don't you think the Great Khali and Sergeant Slaughter should fight it out over who gets to claim this birthday weekend?
I'd get that pay-per-view.
What was the match? The Punjabi prison match or whatever?
I watched that.
Yeah.
Then today, the lovely and talented Alexander Skarsgård, 47. Not so lovely, but talented and strange. Director Tim Burton, 65. Rob Halford from the band Judas Priest, 72. Gene Simmons from the brand Kiss turns 74. I would do it again, Jesus sent in a text wishing his smoke show Hell Bunny a fantastic day at her new job. Asian Cop Jesus' cousin Jesus wants to wish his super hot girlfriend a happy birthday tomorrow. Duran Jesus said, quote, happy 33rd birthday to me, you beautiful SOB, unquote. And this tag says, please wish my sweet, sexy man a happy birthday. Love, SB. And that's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver.
I'm a big guy. I'm a big, strong guy.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, everyone. Last season was a smash. Ratings gold. But this year's script has to top it. So welcome to the table read for the 104th season of the NFL. Let's get to work.
Week 1, 4th quarter, 3:02 left. Jamar leaps up and makes a no-handed catch.
No hands. How?
I don't need hands.
I'll just catch you with my abs. We can call it the abracadabra. Might as well send the ball to Canton now.
What if we wrote the Mahomes character out of the script entirely?
Yes. Wrote him off.
Guys, not cool. Who said that?
She did.
You're an actor, Patrick. Act like one.
Boring.
What if we played shirts versus skins?
I like it, Kirko.
You like that?
Well, we're all loaded up for some laughs now because we got the boys on board. Randy Shaver. Hello, Randy.
Good morning.
and his arch nemesis in every possible way, Brad
Oh,
Ryder.
that's not true.
Good morning.
Maybe just
That's
Friday.
not true.
I'm on.
What's going on, fellas?
Not too much.
Hey, that was
How was the fair yesterday?
yeah, Randy. How was the fair?
Yeah.
You know, why don't we move on to something that's a little bit more pleasant to talk about?
Were they
was
bothering?
fine.
Were there people hollering "ass man" at you?
No, I didn't get anything like that.
Your hearing's not what it used to be.
No, it was all quiet on the state fair front. How
You
about that?
broadcast live from what is it, 5 and 6 out there? Then you get the hell out of here. You go back to the studio for the 10 o'clock show.
That is correct.
Did you get your vanilla shake, chocolate shake, whatever it is?
I did. I got my strawberry shake.
Mixing it up a little bit.
Brad, are you planning Brad? Are you going to load the old lady up into the car and head out to the fair at one point or another, or what?
We have no plans to go at this point. We talked about it. We talked about this yesterday at home, and I don't know that we're going to go.
What's the problem? What, are you no longer a real Minnesotan, or what?
No, I mean we just don't have a huge passion to go. I guess we maybe we will. Maybe we'll decide to go, but we don't have any plans to go at this point.
You're one of those, huh?
You don't have kids anymore. It'd be great.
You still got a kid in the house, don't you, Brad Ryder?
No.
Oh,
He just moved her.
where the hell they all go?
I can tell you this.
One's in jail.
Once us kids moved out of our house, my parents started doing stuff. They never did stuff when we were kids.
Same here.
They went to the fair every year. They're going all over. They're going out to dinner, which I'm still a little bitter about. We never got to do that.
My wife and I would be more apt to go to a movie than to go to the fair.
You're just one of those.
That's
You're
lame.
not dialed into it. I get it. I know people like you. Well, yeah, Cubby, your folks.
I'm not saying we won't. I'm just saying we don't have plans.
Take it easy, Brad. It's okay. Criminy.
Nobody's getting canceled here.
No,
It's okay.
yes,
All right.
it's so. I just said I know people like you. I understand. I get that. Boy, you're running hot.
I can't fathom
No,
that.
I'm
I
not.
get
Yeah.
so excited for the fair, and it's all I can think about the weeks leading up, and then
Well,
I'm
you
just
get
sad
amorous.
afterwards.
You get amorous on bathroom floors at the fair. You look forward to something like that.
True, I have something else to look forward to.
That's a true story.
What's a true story?
Her getting amorous on a public bathroom floor
Yeah.
at the state fair.
That's gross.
I didn't think about how gross it was at the time.
What day of the fair
beer
was
helped.
it, Ashley? Do you remember? Was it early on at least, maybe, when the bathrooms
was
were
so
still a little
gooned
clean?
up on
I don't
drugs
know,
and
probably
alcohol. She don't.
halfway.
Okay.
No, I forget. Was this during your work day when you worked there?
No, I
Okay, so
wasn't
it
on the clock.
You weren't?
No.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in the fair bathrooms between day 1 and day 10.
Very
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. I don't remember it being too bad.
Oh, it's all the friggin' same, for God's sake. I think it's equally as disgusting to be folded in half on the floor
Oh,
of a state
God.
fair bathroom on day 2 as opposed to day 11. It's all the same to me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
People don't urinate as much on day 2 as they do on day 11? It's all the damn same. Yeah, Cubby, your folks finally could afford to go out once all the kids left the house, so they
Yeah.
went and had some fun.
I was kidding. I mean, that's the thing. When you grow up in a commune with like 8, 9 people, you're not going to do that kind of stuff very often. But it was just the two of them. And we joked that they were going to get divorced because they had never lived alone. Their entire marriage, they'd never lived alone. There was always scumbag. I mean, family members living with them here and there.
Oh, yeah, I think that's totally normal. I remember once we got a little older and we're no longer our parents' problem, my dad was going to Nashville with his buddies, and things like that. I'm like, when the hell he's going on plane rides with random women to Hawaii and things like that? I said, well, 2 years ago you bitched about us buying tater tots.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah.
Oh, I remember my dad almost killed me once when I didn't use a coupon at Burger King. We got to go to Burger King, and I forgot to use it. Honestly, he was driving like a madman, peeling out of the parking lot. I thought he was going to kill me.
My folks were cheap as piss. They sat on money until we got out of their hair. They sat on money. I'm convinced of that. By the way, our opening audio, is that video up on our website?
Yes.
I can't remember. Okay.
The word is yes?
Yes.
Everyone ought to get a look at this. I don't know if you guys could make it out over your cellular devices there, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. But the NFL, I'll admit, did something almost kind of cute and clever when normally I hate damn near everything the NFL comes up with. So, they're well aware of folks and their conspiracy theories that the NFL is scripted, right? I mean, even last year, was it right before the Super Bowl? Roger Goodell, smug prick that he is, he gets up in front of the media and he made a joke about how the NFL is scripted, and the proof is, look, we've got a brother versus a brother in the Super Bowl. those Kelsey dopes, right? So he kind of leaned into it even then. Now they produced this funny video starring Keegan-Michael Key from the Key and Peele Show. He's a very funny guy.
Love him. Gosh, he gets me going.
So they shared this on their Twitter account. It's a tongue-in-cheek look behind the scenes of the table read, which is an industry term for, going through the script. The table read for the upcoming NFL season.
That was very clever.
Some of the players they had involved, Captain Death Rocks is in there somewhere. Pat
Shirtless.
He didn't have a shirt on?
Yeah, he was shirtless.
Oh, I missed that.
He had chains on, too.
Yeah, he called him Kirko for Kirko James.
I love when he puts those on.
I hate that bit so much. But anyway, Patrick Mahomes was there, Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf, Justin Fields, some of these other NFL players. The highlight, you heard it in our audio if you were listening, one of the players or a producer, sitting around at this table read, suggest that they completely write out the character. They eliminate the character Patrick Mahomes.
That'd be fine with that.
Which, I mean, you guys watch a lot of television series. That would be a massive plot twist.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And Mahomes,
that'd be like one of those shocking Game of Thrones deaths.
Oh, totally.
Mm-hmm. That was really well done. Check that out on our website. That was good.
That was good.
What else is going on around here? Jeez, we got to do a dad fight here shortly, so I will get going and get through what I think we need to. Golden Gopher football's home game next Thursday against Nebraska. She's officially sold smooth out.
That's cool.
That's good.
Good, yeah.
It doesn't happen that often, does it?
There have been years where you could shoot a cannon through the student section and you wouldn't hurt anybody.
Well,
I think it helps that it's, oh, I'm sorry, Randy. I was going to say it helps that it's the opener. It helps that it's Nebraska, because Nebraska brings a lot of people when they come up.
Word.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I think it's gold night, too. Wear gold in the crowd.
You got to wear gold? Mm-hmm. All right. It's going to be a gold out?
Yep.
I think I heard the same thing there, Wapple. So that'll be a big deal. It's a Thursday night. Who cares about Friday? You get to drinking and having a good time at the ball game. Stop by the frat party afterwards. Did I ever tell you the story where me and my buddy Lou, we were probably, 41 at the time, and we came real close to getting an invite to the frat party?
Would you have gone?
Yeah. We were at the front step, and I said to Lou before we walked in, I said, we're playing this just like old school, dude. You can be Frank the Tank. I'll be, Vince Vaughn's character.
Yeah.
We're playing this. We're going for it. We're going to be here till 5 o'clock in the morning, because when will we ever get another opportunity to go to a frat party in our 40s, if ever again? What happened was Lou knew a young kid. Lou's like a boss at a joint, and this young kid was working for him, and the young kid belongs to this frat. So the two of them are talking to each other on the phone during the Golden Gopher football game. We're at the game, and the young kid says, why don't you and your buddy stop by the frat house after the game? So we walked down frat row, and there we were on the front step, but they didn't let us in because the kid who, our connection wasn't there yet. I don't blame the frat for not trusting two beer-bellied 42-year-olds.
That's so funny. They wouldn't let you into the house yet.
We're at the door saying, no, we know a guy. And they're saying, you don't know a guy.
That's a little humbling.
Are you guys cops?
Wait, no, that wasn't humbling.
No, well, I mean, because Nick, I doubt in your high school life, college life, that you got turned away much from a house. So
that is a good point, Smash.
Do you feel the same about me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I bet Dana's onto something. Like, these guys are cops. We're not letting them in.
What a terrific baseball game last night. I loved last night's ball game. Big comeback win for the Twins. Ryan Jeffers with the dramatic dong in the 8th, and they beat the Rangers 7-5. They were down 5-2. Pablo Lopez didn't have the greatest start of his career, but F it. Josh Winder was terrific taking over for Pablo Lopez. And then they get the offense go. They hit 5 home runs in the game last night.
They did.
That was great.
Pretty dramatic.
2 or 3 as well. Yeah.
I mean, Texas is they're struggling right now. They just can't seem to get it together either. I mean, they jumped out to a nice lead, and against a Twins team that had been struggling to shut people down with their bullpen as of late. That did not bode well for them to not get a quality start from their starting pitcher. But you're right. They just, from the 5th inning on, they just kind of chipped away at it, and then in the 8th inning last night, come up with a big hit. So probably one of the more impressive wins of the year so far, just because of where we are in the season and coming off 2 losses to the Brewers. I mean, and Texas is a as we all know, quality team. They still lead the American League West, even despite the fact they've lost 7 in a row.
Yeah,
so
they're up by a game or 2 on Houston and Seattle.
Yeah, 1 on each. I think, a game on each.
Yep, game on each. And Christ, they were running away with it earlier in the season.
They were.
Well, talking about running away with it now, I mean, we talked about this. If we just are able to win another game or 2 in this series, then you got Cleveland coming in, I think, next week. I think on Monday. I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you win that series, you can pretty much put a lock on things because we got a 6-game lead now.
I thought I saw where there, with 35 games left, if the Twins just basically play 500 baseball, they should end up at about 84, 85 wins, and that should be enough to win the division. All they have to do is just not collapse. That's all they have to do. Just play 500 baseball.
If you're not going downtown to see the game live tonight at 7 o'clock on Bally Sports, and Sonny Gray will pitch against a kid named Dane Dunning, who has a 9-5 record.
He's been really good. He's been really good for them. Yeah.
I look forward to later on, and now in a couple weeks, a month, what is it now? Late August. In a couple weeks, I look forward to announcing that Peterborough lost last night, and as of now, we're in the playoffs.
Right.
Looking forward to the Twins in the play. We covered this in great detail earlier, but just in case you're just tuning in, plenty of our listeners have been wanting us to make mention of this. Another very sad and shocking death in the world of television wrestling. 36-year-old Bray Wyatt died suddenly yesterday of a heart attack. Like I said, we covered it half hour ago or so, but this is really tragic. This kid had all the talent in the world and was on his way to becoming an absolute all-timer, and suddenly he died. It's just about as sad as it gets. He had a wife and some children, and very popular. There haven't been a ton of wrestlers who captured the WWE crowd the way Bray Wyatt did.
Such a great mind. Every single character he played, everyone fell in line because they believed in what he was doing.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
He was a highlight for sure.
He was a highlight. You know, it came from a great wrestling family. I mean, his grandfather was Blackjack F. Me Runnin' Mulligan.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I remember him.
His dad, Mike Rotunda. His uncle, Barry Windham. One of the greatest of all time, Barry Windham.
His brother, Bo Dallas.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
I almost forgot about his brother. So to those who knew and loved Bray Wyatt, our condolences. That is an absolutely shocking, horrible piece of news from yesterday. Now, on a lighter vibe, this was a really fascinating sports fact that Josh dug up. Staying with wrestling. Marvel Comics. I'd never heard of anything like this. And Hulk Hogan has been one of the biggest acts in friggin' wrestling for 40 years. I don't even know. Someone do the arithmetic for me. I don't know. 40 years. Marvel Comics, which owns the Incredible Hulk, of course, got $100 in royalties from the WWF for every match Hulk Hogan wrestled, and also got a small piece of his royalties, too.
Oh, wow.
Every time the man wrestled, They got $100, and they got a little bit of the money from his T-shirts and his friggin' action figures and such. They never had to make another movie. Marvel Comics.
Are you kind of surprised the WWF wouldn't they let him just say, why don't you change the, or wouldn't say, why don't you just change the name? We don't want to do that.
Well, I think it probably goes back to in 1982 or whatever when Hulk Hogan really hit it big. I don't think Vincent Kennedy McMahon had the balls or the leverage to argue with someone like Marvel Comics.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't he just say, hey, you can't be the Hulk anymore? We don't want to agree to that.
So what are you saying?
Like, make Hulk Hogan change his name.
Once Marvel said, hey, you're going to have to pay us, why didn't he say, hey, you're not Hulk Hogan anymore?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Maybe the train had left the track so far by then that, he was too popular as a Hulk. They didn't want to change that part.
That'd be so weird if he had a different name. It just wouldn't make sense.
Just like Hogan. That's all he
no,
was.
I don't like that.
Sergeant Hulka.
Some of his
no, we can't be Sergeant Hulka.
Some of his early names were the Super Destroyer, Terry Boulder, Sterling Golden, and Mr. America.
No.
I remember Mr. America.
Jesus Christ.
I remember that name. That was brutal.
Terry Boulder.
Yeah, what?
Well, his real name's Terry Bollea.
Yeah, I know.
And also interesting, Hulk Hogan wasn't allowed to wear green or purple because the Incredible Hulk wore green and purple.
That makes sense.
Man, what a money train that was, Cubby.
Yeah.
God, you guess. That's amazing.
So then would they still get paid for non-televised wrestling matches too?
It doesn't say anything about
It
dark
just said
matches.
every time he entered the ring, so maybe.
Oh, so maybe it does apply to both.
because you got to pay to go.
Every time. Wow.
All right. Tongue punch that dad fights button, Wobble. Yay! Absolutely. Here we go. Dad Fights Edition 100 plus 41. Randy Shaver versus Brad Ryder. By damn. 141 of these we're up to already. A couple of weeks ago, we teed off on Wisconsin with a Wisconsin Sucks edition of Dad Fights. And I'm not apologizing for jack squat. Those pricks had it coming. We quizzed you two fellas on some of the miserable losses that Wisconsin sports fans have watched through glassy, blackened eyes over the years. Now, with all that said, we Minnesotans, we do have the ability to look ourselves in the mirror and be honest with ourselves. We love kicking Wisconsin around. We do. We love kicking Wisconsin around. And because of their enormous size, they're easy to pick off. But if we Minnesotans are honest with ourselves, Randy, Brad, the truth is we are very likely the saddest collection of pathetic losers in the entire United States of America. Especially if we're talking about our local ball clubs. So today, I know it seems strange, seeing how we're just beginning the happiest days of the year for Minnesotans, right? We're all whacking off at the state fair. I know it seems strange. But today, we're going to fire up the Minnesota Sucks edition of Dad Fights. I don't know, look at it as therapy, Josh, right? Talking things out can sometimes help ease the pain.
Yeah, it's okay to admit some faults. And in this case, there's 11 of them.
That we could even, fit in one edition of Dad Fights.
It's funny, yeah, we sit around and kind of throw out some top-of-mind stuff, and we were finished with this one pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
Yes, we were.
And we could have kept going. This could have been a 100-question dad fight.
I will admit, it went a lot faster than the Wisconsin one.
So just like the Wisconsin Sucks edition, we're going to test Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder on the horrible, disgusting, embarrassing moments in Minnesota sports history. And pay attention, because we are going to sneak in a couple of questions that are more generally pathetic in nature. There will be a couple of questions that have nothing to do with sports. They're sad and stupid for other reasons. So let's get passive-aggressive as hell here with our 141st episode of Dad Fights, the Minnesota Sucks edition. As always, boys, it's head-to-head. Be the first to answer correctly. Shout it out. Christ, did we line this up with Wapple?
We did.
Yeah. Okay, good. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell. That means you got a point. If you're incorrect, since it's a special Minnesota Sucks edition, if you're incorrect, you'll hear that stupid dude saying state of hockey.
State of hockey.
Which is, if we're talking about Minnesota Sucks, which is one of the most pathetic gimmicks we've come up with around here. You know I hate it when Minnesotans use that slogan as if we're entitled to special treatment just because a good amount of us play effing hockey around here.
State of hockey.
That slogan has unintentionally turned some of us into self-absorbed douchebags. No points if you hear the state of hockey thing.
State of hockey.
You're going to wear that button out.
Yeah, it's fun.
10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if necessary. And Wapple over there tells me our intro today is being handled by, hopefully, a native Minnesotan by the name of Muggs Slingin' Jesus.
Muggs Slingin' Jesus, a.k.a. Big Sexy. From Io, home of Nick and Josh's winter snowmobile debacle and meat raffle days, Izadies. Proud father of 3 little boys, Jace, Avery, and Riker, and currently a bun in the oven. Nick, we were hoping we'd see you last Sunday on your Hardly a Davidson when we did our gender reveal. We're having a baby girl. On one corner, selling his thoughts on next year's XFL predictions, barely alive from the nursing home, is the ass man himself, Randy. Can't contain the excitement shaver. Work in the other corner, updating his resume and always keeping his little secrets tucked away for next week's edition of That's Not Fair, is the lonely boy, Brad. That was me writing. Let's remember to keep it below the belt and drink your Ovaltine, boys. It's now time for 69 plus 69 plus 3 of Dad Fights.
Hardly a Davidson. That's
Never
good.
heard that. I love that. I'm mad we didn't come up with that.
Yeah, me too.
A friend of mine had a little mini bike years ago that he called a Hardly a Davidson.
That's funny. I like that.
Hey, thanks, Muggs Slingin' Jesus from Isle. I like the way he said home of me and Cubby's snowmobile meat raffle debacle. Izadies. And he had a gender reveal party. What a douche. Yeah. If you want to do an intro like Muggs Slingin' Jesus, send your, how do you say it? Send an email to us, hams93x@gmail.com. Tell us who you are, your Jesus or Jesus name. We'll get you hooked up. That was a good one. So it's our Minnesota Sucks edition of Dad Fights. There'll be Danalysis for each question that will dig deeper in the ass-deep pile of sadness related to each of these topics.
And you know what I've noticed about the last 2 Dad Fights, the Wisconsin and then Minnesota Sucks edition? Dana, you shine with passive aggressiveness and anger.
Do I?
Yeah, you really do.
All right, I'll take that.
It stands out.
You are one of us.
Before we take off, just a little advice for Randy and Brad. Keep it in your pants. Don't be in too much of a hurry. These questions take a while to get there because there's a lot of misery to unload here. So just so you know. And if we're doing Minnesota Sucks, if that's our topic for Dad Fights, I got to tell my favorite Minnesota Sucks story again. Years ago, Big Al and I were at a bar in Wayzata, and some whack bag is drunk and ranting and raving about how much Minnesota sucks. Minnesota sucks because of this, because of that. And he's talking politics and all this stuff that people shouldn't talk about at the bar. When did that rule go out the window, by the way? Politics and religion.
Yes.
But anyway, so this guy's going on and on about political nonsense, and Minnesota sucks for this reason and that. He's telling anybody to listen. Nobody knows who this idiot is. And finally, Big Al grabs his car keys off the bar and says to the guy, "Let's go." And the guy goes, "Where we're going?" And Al says, "I'm giving you a ride to the friggin' airport." If it sucks so bad, I'll give you a ride to the airport right now.
That's funny.
I like that.
All right. Here we go. Randy and Brad, are you ready?
Sure.
And we're starting hot right from the get-go. The Vikings have had so many NFC Championship game failures in the last 45 years, it's hard to pick just one to write a question about. But let's stick with the NFC title game that was such a disaster. Reporters were changing their flights at halftime to leave the game early.
State of hockey.
The Viking, correct
Randy
team,
Shaver and now,
wrong answer, though.
Randy Shaver said the Giants.
Didn't you do that, Randy? Didn't you leave early for that game?
I did. I left at halftime.
Okay. Randy was incorrect. So, Brad Ryder, you can...
He's on the right track.
All right.
You have the rest of the question and the answer, if you have it, all to yourself.
The Vikings got skunked 41 donut by the Giants in 2000 with this quarterback throwing for 5 touchdowns.
Kerry Collins.
Kerry Collins is the correct answer. The Vikings won 3 NFC championship games in the 70s before pooping their girdle 6 straight times. Some other stats to highlight the magnitude of suckitude. That was the 2000 NFC title game. Dante Culpepper, 13 of 28 passing for 78 yards and 3 picks. Robert Smith ran for 44 yards on 7 carries. And Randy Moss had 2 receptions for a total of 18 yards. Randy Moss.
This is a great group effort there.
They just took a massive dump in that game. Nice job, Brad Ryder. Kerry Collins. Can I tell you my Kerry Collins story real quick?
Yeah.
I was at a beer party once with a bunch of big shot NFL players back in this time period, late 90s. Kerry Collins was a starting quarterback, obviously. And there was a long line at this bar, long line for the bar, for beer specifically. They had a beer tub, right? But there was a massive line. Everyone's looking to get a Steve Weiser. Well, me and a buddy went up there. I grabbed one. My buddy was the only smart one. He grabbed 2, right? And he goes, and my buddy and I sat down. I got 1 beer in front of me. My buddy's got 2. Here comes Kerry Collins, and he walks up to my buddy and says, "Hey, can I have one of your beers?" And my buddy says, "What?" And Kerry Collins says, "Well, that friggin' beer line is really long. I don't feel like standing in line. You have 2 beers. Can I have one of them?" And my buddy said, "No."
Kerry Collins, no, you can't.
And Collins looked at him all confused, and he walked away.
That's great. I would have caved in and gave him the beer.
Yeah, me too.
Especially if he would have been wearing a Mario Kart T-shirt or something.
Well, then you would have had both beers.
Yeah, there you go. And here's my wallet. 1-0 Brad Ryder. Okay. If the Minnesota Twins' playoff losing streak was a human being, it could walk into a gas station and buy a pack of smokes and a porno mag. It stands at 18 games over the last 19 years. Even the saddest loser Minnesotan cheers themselves up once in a while by saying, "Well, at least I'm not as effing hopeless as the Twins come playoff time." Many Twins fans consider the 2006 playoff beating the most painful after they won the American League Central.
Oakland A's.
Nice one, Brad Ryder. It's 2-0 Brad. After they won the American League Central on the last day of the season and then got themselves swept in the playoffs by this AL West ball club, the Oakland Athletics. Now, here's some interesting analysis. 8 of the 18 straight playoff beatdowns for the Twins have come at either the old Metrodome or Target Field. If you went to all 8 of those home games, with the average playoff ticket price being $233, you would have basically lit $1,864 on fire before even factoring in all the beers you drank to drown your sorrows.
Oh.
It's very interesting. 2-0.
Minnesota sucks so bad, our teams can't even cheat right. The Timberwolves shot a cannon right through some of Kevin Garnett's prime seasons by signing Joe freaking Smith to an illegal under-the-table deal. Commissioner David Stern dropped the hammer, finding the team $3.5 million, stripping 5 draft picks, and making this former Cheers star take a leave of absence.
Crunch. I don't know.
What?
Former Cheers star take a leave of absence.
Oh, Cheers.
All right, we've got 2 State of Hockey.
I heard cheer, not cheers.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I added an ad.
Brad Ryder is the only one to answer. He said crunch, and that
and you're saying Randy's out of time, Wapple?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know what the answer is now.
What is the answer?
Kevin McHale.
Kevin McHale was the answer, but you screwed it up.
I did.
You let us all down, Brad.
Since we did it for the Twins and Brewers, we may as well do it for the Wolves and Bucks, too. Since the Wolves made that run to the Western Conference Finals in 2004, they've won 4 playoff games. In that same time span, the Bucks won 8 playoff series and 50 playoff games total.
In a damn world championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin McHale is what we were looking for, Randy Shaver.
Okay.
Something wrong?
Too late. I was too late.
Okay. Still 2-0 Brad Ryder. Were you and the wife making out or something, Randy? What's going on?
No, I'm listening.
All right, here we go. The Minnesota Sucks edition of Dad Fights. Minnesota sucks so bad. Not only do we lose seemingly every big game we play, we also manage to lose entire effing franchises. In maybe the ultimate low point in Minnesota sports history, the North Stars...
Norm Green.
Wow. Huh? The answer is Yeah, I know what you said. Hit the thing, Wapple.
State of hockey.
I'll continue on. Randy answered Norm Green. That is incorrect. The North Stars left Minnesota for Dallas in 1993. Sure, we eventually got the Man Bear Pigs, who have their own boring, eventless, bannerless story to tell. The North Stars lost 11 of their last 15 regular season games in their final 92-93 season, including losing the very last hockey game in North Star history, a loss on the road to this hockey club, whose leading scorers were Sergei Fedorov, Steve Yzerman, and Dino Ciccarelli.
Detroit.
Well, what the hell?
Oh, wait. Detroit. I didn't get a chance to answer.
Yeah, you
That's
just
all right.
gave Brad the answer there, Randy.
Yeah.
Brad.
Well, I knew it. I knew it, but he answered first. But
You're correct. The answer is the Detroit Red Wings. And I still remember Al Shaver, his last words on the mic for the Stars, when he said, "We will still remember you as the Minnesota North Stars. Good night, everybody, and goodbye."
Oh, boy. That's very sad.
That crushed a 21-year-old hard-drinking pimp. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, there were probably a few tears listening to that.
3-0 Brad Ryder with that correct answer. Randy, you kind of gave it to Brad there.
I did, yeah.
Now, do you think I have the wind in my lungs to cough up this Danalysis? You think I can make it all the way through?
I'd like you to try. That is a lot of ink.
It is.
Here is a comprehensive list of other Minnesota teams that no longer exist. The Bemidji Axemen, Duluth Eskimos, Duluth Lumberjacks, Minnesota Machine, Minnesota Millers, Minnesota Muskies, Pipers, Goofies, Purple Rage, Ripneys?
What?
The Kicks, the Thunder, the Lightning, the Monarchs, the Lakers, the Fighting Saints, the Moose, the Swarm, the Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. That's cool.
Unbelievable when you put it all out like that.
It's a lot of teams. I missed the Lumberjacks.
What did they
Which
do?
one was the arena football team?
Fighting Pike.
Fighting Pike.
Who were the
Okay.
Lumberjacks?
The Lumberjacks were an indoor football team in Duluth.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we used to have the Valkyrie in studio every once in a while?
That sounds right.
I'm pretty sure we did.
We had a ladies' football team in here
It
somewhere.
must have been.
Yeah.
Must have been. Were any of those other names on the list, Dana, a female football league?
No, I think it was just the Valkyrie.
Oh, cool. That's the best name, too.
We had them in there. They were cool.
We're sitting at 3-0 Brad Ryder.
For those stuck in rush hour traffic right now, the license plate in front of you likely has the slogan, Land of 10,000 Lakes. Well, that's another reason why Minnesota sucks. We pimp our 10,000 lakes, but Wisconsin claims they have over 15,000, including this lake that shares a name with an RV company.
State of hockey.
Lake Winnebago. According to Danalysis, not only does Wisconsin have more lakes than Minnesota, they also double the number of Great Lakes. They border two, Superior and Michigan.
They got us doubled.
Yeah.
That's true.
I like the emphasis you put on that.
Anybody here ever skinny dipped in Lake Winnebago?
No, sir.
I don't even know if I've
Have
been
you?
No, I've never heard of the joint, to be honest with you. Lake Winnebago is one of the lakes in Wisconsin, you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay.
I've heard we have far more than 10,000 lakes, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't follow that gimmick at all. I mean, I know
It's
that
confusing.
Yeah, I got a lot of crap for that when I moved to Wisconsin, and then I was just like kind of destroyed because I never heard that before I moved there.
But
I
then
was
you
like,
hear
no, we have more lakes, and then they were like, so this is what we classify, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh. Oh, crap. You're right.
No,
All right.
they're not right. See, that's the thing. I know the vibe this morning has been Minnesota sucks, but I'm not going to let the Wisco idiots get away with that one again. You don't have more lakes than us. Stop it with that gimmick.
They're rated differently, right?
Yeah, like
some people
we
say
consider like some ponds here lakes, and they wouldn't. So, like, that's why.
Oh, no, I think it's the other way around. I mean, I've heard people say if there's a puddle in Wisconsin, they call it a lake.
Right.
Oh, really?
I don't know how
the
it
other
works.
way around.
No. All right, Randy, you're still down 3-0. You still got time to come back.
I'm trying.
Okay. We couldn't do the Minnesota Sucks edition of Dad Fights without including at least one of the many times a University of Wisconsin football team totally pumped the U of M. The year was 2005. The site was the old Metrodome. It was the 23-ranked Badgers against the 22nd-ranked Golden Gophers. Minnesota blew a 27-17 halftime lead and ultimately lost because of a blocked punt despite a 258-yard rushing day from this running back.
Chris Darkins.
State of hockey. Brad Ryder, can you name the running back who put up 258 yards that day in 2005?
2005. Was it Marion Barber?
State of hockey. You're right. We're hearing that friggin' guy a lot. The correct answer is Lomo.
Lawrence Maroney.
Maroney. Here's a little stat from our friends in Wisconsin to bring up. Next time their Minnesota buddies get all horny over winning Paul Bunyan's axe the last 2 years, Wisconsin has won 23 of the last 30 games against the Golden Gophers. Yeah. And I still remember that effing block punt. What a punch in the...
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That sucks so bad. What a kick in the taint that was.
Yep. That was brutal.
Still 3-0, Brad.
That's right.
All right.
Finish him.
Oh, this is it? Really?
No.
Yeah, if I get it.
Oh.
Yeah, there's only three questions left after
three
this.
missed, yeah.
Oh.
3 missed.
Okay, all right.
For once, my math is right.
Yeah,
Proud of you.
And as usual, mine is not.
Wapple will get you a glass of milk at the fair as a job well done.
Not only do we squander great sports opportunities here in Minnesota, we also do it with major Hollywood movies as well. One of the greatest action stars ever, Arnold Schwarzenegger, starred in a pile of dog turds they tried to pass off as a Christmas movie, a movie called Jingle All the Way. The movie, set and filmed in Minnesota, was about a father's hunt for the Christmas season's hottest toy against a rival father played by this comedian.
Danny DeVito.
State of hockey. That would have been awesome. Yeah. I would have liked that movie. That had been the case.
He would have been a nice addition to that.
Yeah.
Think early 90s and not terribly funny at all, Randy.
He
Sugar.
was popular, though.
Tim Allen? I don't know.
Well, that's a good answer. That's a great answer.
That's a good guess based on what they told you.
Sinbad is the correct answer.
Oh, for God's sake.
What, he's not top of mind?
Yeah, you don't get the family together on Christmas, watch Jingle All the Way?
We do. Speaking of movies, number of Blues Brothers scenes filmed in Minnesota, 0. Number of Blues Brothers scenes filmed in Wisconsin, 1.
Got us beat there, too.
Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger were in a movie, though, right?
Twins,
yeah.
Twins, okay, yeah.
All right, so Randy still has a shot, doesn't he, Wapple?
Yeah, he has to run it.
God help us. Come on, man. Here's our next challenge. As hard as we try, we're such hopeless losers around here, we can't even crack the top 10 of the drunkest cities in America. The closest a Minnesota town got was number 11. The 11th drunkest city in America is this Minnesota town where minors don't need fake IDs. They can just get the 32-year-old college hockey player.
Mankato.
I love that. That's wicked. As soon as you said 32-year-old.
I know the bit.
They can just get the 32-year-old college hockey players to buy them beer. Brad is correct. The answer is Mankato. And Brad wins the Minnesota Sucks edition of Dad Fights 4-0. Randy sucks at Minnesota Sucks.
And I'm a little depressed that I knew that so quickly because my daughter's down there now.
I actually thought about that when I was writing the question.
I hope you taught her well.
Oh,
Wisconsin. Wisconsin had 7 towns in the top 10 drunkest cities in America. Well, I think what we need to do is build more bars, according to Danalysis. And a study from 20 plus 22, Wisconsin has 2,732 bars. We only have 865 up around here.
Whoa.
Yeah, what are we doing?
There was always a joke when I lived in Wisconsin is no matter how small the town is, you can always find a post office and a bar in it.
Yeah.
Post office and a bar.
Yep.
Well, damn, gentlemen. That was a little bit of a beating. But it's a different animal when you're dealing with the sucks editions of our dad fights. You know, they're a little bit of a different kind of line of questioning.
It's hard to wait. You don't know when to jump in.
You don't know when to jump in.
And there's these ones have more twists to them.
Yep.
We were going to dive into the Golden Gophers 1997 college basketball homework scandal. As far as other miserable
Oh,
moments.
what was the question there? I was involved with that.
Of course, Brad wants to continue with the questioning. Go ahead, Cubby.
It's typically on the court where Minnesota basketball teams crap the bed, but in this case, it came in the classroom. Turns out some Gopher players didn't write their own papers. The banner may have been yanked from the rafters of Williams Arena, but we all remember the run to the 1997 Final Four, which came to an end when the boys got beat by the Rick Pitino-coached Kentucky and this future NBA point guard.
Oh, wow. Future NBA point guard. I can picture
I remember who played for Arizona in that Final Four, but not Kentucky.
I can picture him. He wore number 00. What was his name?
Well, Jamal Mashburn?
Was it? Who was it, Cubby?
Mike Bibby.
Oh, I screwed that up.
No, that was He was from Arizona. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had some bad info.
Yeah, I screwed that. I pooched that one. Glad we didn't get to it in the actual game.
Good thing we didn't get to that one.
Yeah.
Who was the little guard that played for Kentucky? He did have a cup of coffee in the NBA. God, I can picture the guy, but I couldn't.
Tony Belk?
Yes, Tony Delk is who I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yep.
We were going to ask you about the Hennepin County Fluke, which, I mean, is that what do you suppose is the all-timer? Well, it's got to be the North Stars up and completely leaving town. That's got to be the low point. Yeah, that's the low point of all. But the Hennepin County Fluke, you know, as Dana wrote it up in the game, you know, we went from, you know, where is this? How did you say this? We went from, you know, the most exciting play in franchise history to getting absolutely curb-stomped the following week by the Philadelphia Eagles.
That was so painful. I just remember being so angry.
Do you remember the hype in this town leading into that game? Because if we win, we're going to play at home in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Gosh. Oh, yeah,
the hype in this town was unbelievable. People were like, "Oh, we're in. We're going crazy."
And
they
Dana
just
mentioned
got curb-stomped.
Dana mentioned that in the Danalysis in the Hennepin County Fluke question. So to recap, he said, the Vikings had the opportunity to capitalize on the most exciting play in franchise history with a chance to go to their first Super Bowl since 1977 and become the first team in NFL history to play a Super Bowl in their own stadium, but lost 38-7 in the NFC title game.
Oh, it just sends a gross
After
feeling
going
in my
up
body.
7-0 too. They got up 7-0.
Yeah, they were winning.
Like, hey, this is over. We're going.
And
First
quickly,
drive of the game, I think.
yes,
they took it down
they
and scored
marched
right
right
away.
down and scored. So we've had some sad moments. This was fun. We've had some sad moments.
To piggyback on what you were talking about, Ashley, Union Drywall Jesus said there's always a post office and a bar in Wisconsin because that way you can always send for help and then drink until it gets there.
Hey, Randy and Brad, have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
Talk to you on Monday. We'll be back here shortly on the program.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app?
Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep, going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Jesus, too much damn going on around here. F this scene. Effing Friday. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. I'm looking forward to tap dancing my way out of this nightmare and heading out to the state fair with all of y'all.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hope to see you out there. If you're hitting the fair today, stop by our silly little setup out there. Look for the 93X booth, the broadcast box, whatever the hell we call it. 10 to noon, by God, that's when you can find our sad asses hanging out at the fair today. Going to be a good crowd out there, Cubby.
I hope so.
I say we really try to win this one.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's going to be a good crowd out there.
Don't screw it up.
No promises.
Now, that's not the only big damn deal we got cooking around here. We just coughed up this info a little earlier today. It's about that time again to float around drinking, telling BS stories. Just earlier today, we announced our latest 93X Rock the River cruise. Our fall boat party is back again. Oh, in a little over a month. It's going to be Friday, September 22nd. We're floating around with the fine people involved in Paddleford River boats. What are we doing, 8 to 10?
7 to 10.
7 to 10. From 7 to 10, we'll launch that effing thing. You were looking more like a 4 to 5:30 kind of a thing.
Well, I would have been fine with the 3 hours if it started at 4.
Right.
But yeah, it's going to 10 p.m. A lot of people think that's too late for a Friday night, and I agree.
It is
dinner hour cruise.
There's too many people who live that rock star lifestyle involved in this. I would like to be home well before 10, but what can we do now? We're going to heave-ho that boat into the drink from Harriet Island in downtown St. Paul. Then we go this way, that way. There's going to be beer. There's going to be booze. There's going to be free food from Lucky 13's Pub and live music. And this big bash is sponsored by Anytime Bail Bonds, and we thank them for their support. Buy your tickets at 93x.com. I've already had a few texts from people saying, I bought my tickets.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yep.
And the next guy said, I bought my tickets. Friday, September 22nd. Get ready for that. I'll be damned. Why don't we hook somebody up right now in the Luther Bloomington Kia? It's twice this week I've done that.
Kia.
Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text STREAM to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to this party. This prize has been furnished by Paddleford Riverboats. Get on that text line, 651-989-9393. Your shot to ride the Rock the River friggin' cruise. All right. Did you guys know that working in television or radio makes us the 6th most likely profession to fall in love with a coworker? Does anyone have anything they'd like to confess to me?
I would say the majority of people I've dated since I turned 20 were people that we worked with here.
Say what? Really?
What I said was the majority of people I have dated since I turned about 20 when I started here are people I have met here or through like a station event.
Jesus criminy. Oh, through a station event. I never would have guessed that, but now that you said it out loud a second time, I'm following you. You had a gal friend here for quite a while.
I'd say pretty much the same for you, too.
Yeah, I've gone through a few women's in the building, yeah. I never thought of your situation like that. You had a gal friend, a girlfriend who worked here.
Yep, a couple of them.
I can think of one.
Well, there was the front desk lady. That was short-lived.
Oh, okay. I didn't think of that as dating as so much. It
was a short-lived,
a rough sexual experience.
Well, rough for her because she deserves better. Rough in just the case of, boy, that was bad sex.
And then you met your wife here.
I did.
Was it more than that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, every girl that I've dated since I started here has been through this place.
The Jessica Simpson gal, you met her. She looked a lot like Jessica.
Well, that was right before I started here, though. So I met her before then.
I never. If you would have, if anyone would have asked me how many women has Josh dated that were connected to the radio station, there's no way I would have come up with that.
I would never date anybody from work.
Why
or
not?
That I work with.
Well, because we work with a lot of uggos now.
Yeah. Well, besides that point, I worked with my high school boyfriend at 2 separate jobs, and it was awful. Absolutely awful. I do not recommend working with your significant other.
Oh, I didn't have any problems.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Oh gosh, because work is your one guaranteed time apart.
Okay.
And so when
did you guys work elbow to elbow every day?
we worked in the same kitchen together.
Oh, see, that's a little.
He was on the other side of the line.
I can see where you're going because that's pretty close quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, we had a married couple that worked here for years. They rode to and from work together, and they made it. They were awesome.
Wow.
Well, they still are awesome, but
I never had any problems, but it wasn't like we were in the same room all day long. That might have changed things, like the way you described it, Ashley.
Yeah, he would actually, because he was the cook and I was the alley coordinator. So the plate that he made would be passed on to me, and then I'd give it to his server. So yeah, there was a lot of.
You're never apart. Ever.
No.
You're working, you're side by side. In the car ride home, you're side by side. You get back to the house, you're side.
Yeah,
it makes me crazy.
That makes a difference, right? In our case, for me and Nick, they were not even related.
Yeah.
That's
totally
better.
different.
And you run out of stories too. You can't even tell them your work stories because you're like, oh well, you were there for that.
I hear you. I hear you. But we are. In the radio business, we are the 6th most likely profession to fall in love with a coworker.
Makes sense, too, because in college, one of my journalism professors, he had worked in the newsrooms for years and years, and he goes, I'm just giving you some practical advice here. If you get into broadcasting, radio, TV, whatever, newspaper, 2 things will happen. 1, you'll develop a drinking problem, and 2, you will hook up and fall in love with a coworker.
Well, that's like working at a restaurant. Man, that was like a revolving door. Everybody was hooking up.
This information comes from a poll of adult Americans. Oh, it goes on and on to talk about things like, why we might fall in love with a coworker. You have shared experiences, familiarity. Especially when you're young, you grow attached to people like this who have shared experiences. You want to hear the top 15 jobs where you're most likely to fall in love with a coworker. Number 15. Well, Mr. Scientist. Scientists fall in love with each other. Number 14, farmers.
Isn't that mostly their family?
What are you trying to say, Ashley?
You know what I'm trying to say.
Talking about cousin humping?
Yeah.
No, we're not saying that. We're certainly not saying that. Maybe Ashley's saying that. Farmers. You know what I bet comes into play there? You watch a lot of animals doing it.
Sure. That'll get you going.
And then you say, you know what we watched those hogs do earlier? Remember what we want? Yeah, I remember that. Well, you want to try? Do you want to?
Roll in the hay?
13, real estate brokers fall in love with each other.
As we said, I can't remember on air or off air, but real estate people love talking about real estate.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
What if they hated it? That'd be bad for business.
That would be
That's
tough.
true. Yeah, good point.
Number 12, social workers. Social workers are the 12th most likely folks to fall in love with a coworker. 11, IT workers. I don't know what some of this means. 10, dispatchers.
Sure.
Oh, my mom did that for a very long time.
Number 9 is Army Navy folks.
I wonder why they
that makes sense if you're
overseas.
Yeah, overseas.
It doesn't mention Marines or Air Force. It just mentions Army and Navy.
Yeah, I was curious, too, why they just singled those 2 out. I would think it'd be across the board.
I mean, I never served. I was way too SAWFT for that. But I guess my idea, my perception of serving, I wouldn't think you'd have time for romance to get to know someone, to fall in love with someone.
Maybe it's afterwards, you kind of bond with, fellow veterans.
I suppose. Doctors are the 8th most likely profession to fall in love with a coworker, where you got all those good-looking people walking
power
around.
couples, too.
And if TV shows lead me to believe that every single doctor is banging every other single doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Between like Scrubs and Grey's Anatomy, people are just hooking up left and right.
I'll bet that's not far from the truth.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you fall in love with the money. Doctors make a lot of money.
They do.
Number 7, insurance workers. I'd love to try to piece that together, but I don't.
Yeah,
6, here we are, TV and radio people.
Woohoo.
5, actors. Oh, you see that a lot. Hey, Don Johnson is dating Cyndi Lauper. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, to the point that, like, when they date a regular person, you're just like, ugh, who's that?
That's noteworthy when they're dating somebody who's not also an actor.
Yeah.
I suppose Cyndi Lauper was never an actor. Don Johnson
she was too.
Was she?
Yeah.
Well, then I stand by my statement. Number 4, lawyers. Power, money, drama.
Yeah, I've seen Suits.
Interesting cases. You're drawn to that. 3, accountants.
What?
Hey, Norm Peterson needs love too. You know what I'm saying?
I think accountants are sexy.
Here you go, Josh. You were talking about all the heat in the restaurant business. Cooks and chefs are the 2nd most likely profession to fall in love with each other at work. And number 1, did we mention this already? Did you say this already? Bartenders.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
That's it. They make it easy.
They just get ass.
Yeah, they do. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So cooks and chefs, Wapple, you've worked in restaurants more than I have,
Mm-hmm.
and would you agree? It just seems like that was everybody was hooking up with everybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was like cooks and cooks. It was more cooks and servers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're being kind of general in these, right? But just people that work in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, that was insane. There was I loved it though, because I just liked being up to date on all the drama, like what happened between my coworkers when I was a server. Oh, it was exciting.
If only
everybody was screwing.
If only I could tell you guys some stories.
What do you mean?
Why can't you tell us?
Because he has
because you never got any action.
You mean you yourself? Gotcha.
If only you could tell some personal stories. You tell a hell of a lot of secondhand stories. Man. Yeah, you just never got any action.
Yeah, didn't work out for Little Wapple.
All right, but anyhow, tell you what.
I don't know why, honestly. I honestly don't know why. I'm not being sarcastic.
I could give you a list of why.
I don't get it either. I don't know. The more I've talked to Wapple, the more I've come to find out that he is a little picky.
Yeah, I'd say that.
So, wait, you were turning girls down?
No.
Oh, I tried helping you out, man.
She threw you a life raft there, dude.
I know.
I was awful picky, he says. Did you ever get any offers? No.
But boy, was I picky.
I was picky about when I got an offer. Josh, this is great. We have a couple people have texted in to say that you and I are their favorite married couple working in the same industry.
You know, that's my favorite too, and that's nice of you to say.
Now, before we go, if you don't want to get involved in all this headache of falling in love with a coworker and then heartbreak and then scandal and 3-ways and cheating, if relationships, whether it's a coworker or not, if they don't interest you, I totally get it, because you can just lean on master dating.
Anybody here a master dater, and if so, prolific or just every once in a while?
Yeah, I'd say prolific. Too.
This is a new slang term that the young people are going to beat us to death with for about 6 months, and then they'll forget it ever happened. And hopefully you heard me correctly, master dating. It's a hot new term for taking yourself out on elaborate dates.
Could never.
You could never?
Nope.
I love doing that kind of stuff so much.
You buy yourself. Well, what do you mean? When you go out by yourself, you go out by yourself. Everyone at times goes out by themselves, but you don't make it an elaborate thing, do you?
Define what you mean by elaborate.
Well, it says
like
you
buying
buy yourself.
for yourself.
Yeah, you buy yourself nice gifts. You send yourself flowers.
No, that's kind of weird.
I mean,
don't send yourself flowers.
It's very different than just going out by yourself and having a beer and a bite to eat.
You're paying for shipping and handling when you can just go to the store.
That's a lot of work.
That stresses me out.
This is it's really interesting. This master dating. One expert on master dating. Oh, okay. They suggest sending flowers to yourself in the morning with a card that says, "I can't wait to see you tonight." If your friends find out...
This is a joke, right? Nobody's actually done that.
Yeah, that's a little far.
They'll turn you into an insane asylum.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The point, though, is to love yourself as a person. Realize you deserve to go have a good time, even when you're not dating anyone. Embrace the solo life.
So, Wapple, you, like, just going to a Chipotle by yourself, you wouldn't do it?
I mean, I would go to Chipotle and, like, grab the food, but I could never, like, sit down by myself and eat it.
Why?
Really?
I just feel so weird and awkward
I
the
get
whole
it.
time.
I used to feel that way a lot, Wapple, but then I don't know what happened. Somewhere a switch flipped, and I absolutely love going out to eat by myself.
Yeah, like I would never go to McDonald's, grab my food, sit down by myself, eat it quick, and then leave.
Is that because of
always bring it home?
The McDonald's play area, they won't let you?
You see those old people that do that? Dude, they're living life. They love it.
Going
Some
out by
me time.
yourself is no big deal, Wapple.
Not at all.
Obviously, buying yourself flowers and sending yourself a card, that's a completely different animal. But there's nothing wrong with going out. Hell, when I lived in Rogers, there was a bar, restaurant set up, and it was most nights, I don't know why this place just struggled. Most nights it was me and the bartender, and that was it.
See,
I was completely content with that.
I feel better like if you're sitting alone at the bar eating, but just like sitting down at like in the dining area by yourself at a table. That's what I feel weird about.
Eventually,
I'm content, I promise.
I see.
I mean, if I was like at a fancy restaurant, I'd feel a little awkward. But if I'm just, I mean, I never do that. But I wouldn't mind going to any fast food restaurant or sitting at a Subway. And I hate myself.
Have you guys ever
you
gone
have some
to
strange parameters there, Wapple, but we'll work on this. Yes, Ashley.
a movie by yourself?
Oh, all the
I
time.
love doing that.
Well, yeah.
Except I fell asleep one time, and I didn't wake up for like an hour after the movie was over, and then I kind of decided maybe I shouldn't go to a movie by myself.
That's absolutely hilarious.
That is great.
And I like that the concession worker, or whoever it was, just swept right around you.
There was just a pile of popcorn next to her. They just swept it to her.
I was right next to the door, too. Like, people had to walk past me.
All right, before we go, we want to meet another pimp from our terrific armed forces. We've been doing this every Friday thanks to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Getting to know these folks has been fun. First off, we get to meet a new friend, but also a donation is made in each of these service members' names to Folds of Honor. Today, it's Army Specialist Bryce Bierke, a.k.a. Fat Cat Performance Jesus. Good morning, Bryce.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good.
We're doing all right. What's going on? Yeah, thanks for coming on. You know, you were nominated by your friend Tony. Tell us about this Tony guy. Is he shady or what?
Yeah, that's Foundry Rat Jesus right there.
Oh, yeah, we're familiar with them.
Foundry Rat. He texted in quite a bit. Okay, go ahead. Yet, how do you know Foundry Rat Jesus?
Well, it's kind of a weird story. Our dads used to be friends back in the day. And then they stopped hanging out, and then randomly on a local car Facebook page, Tony needed some help with something, and I said, hey, I can help you. And then we found out our dads hung out, and it's been like that for probably past 7-8 years now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Serendipitous.
And tell us about your Jesus name, Fat Cat Performance. You're a big car guy.
Yes. Yep. So I used to own a performance shop called Fat Cat Performance, where we specialize in Gen 3 Hemi, so like Chargers, Challengers, you know, Josh's favorite, TRX. And I actually ended up selling it earlier this year, so now I work for MP Motorsports up in Blaine. So I just kept the Jesus name.
Do you have the knowledge or the willingness every time you work on a TRX to steal one part and then over time build me my own Ram TRX?
Take a while.
There's an old Johnny Cash song that details how that can be done, actually.
10 years later, I'll get one.
Right. I mean, I got enough parts that we could probably build you a pretty gnarly engine.
That's awesome, man.
You
what a cool school.
Word is you listened to this program, Zach, and you were really excited to meet me.
Yep.
You've heard Josh and I, I'm sure, go on and on about how envious we are of guys who know cars up and down, and I understand that's you. You're that kind of a guy.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I wish I knew more about it. I could tell you, trim levels, years, things like that, but I couldn't tell you anything about an engine or
You
stuff
are
like
very
that.
good when it comes to, you do know cars. You know what's been released. Did you hear Ford did this and Pontiac? That you are very good at that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you how a vehicle works at all.
Now, Bryce Bierke is on the line with us. You're an Army specialist, specializing in what exactly, Bryce?
So I was my MOS was a 91 Bravo, which is a all-wheel mechanic. So basically, anything that had a wheel on it, we were in charge of fixing it.
Okay.
I know when we were deployed, we fell onto fixing generators and other stuff that didn't have, quote-unquote wheels. But anything with an engine is fixable by our MOS.
I'm going to keep your friggin' phone number. And you're up there in Blaine. How long you been trying to get out of Blaine now?
I actually make a 45, 50-minute drive every day. I live down in Burnsville, work in Blaine.
Oh, my damn. Well, there you go. Let me read, if you don't mind, Bryce, I'd like to read what your friend Tony wrote to us. And folks should know that if they'd like to nominate a current or retired member of our armed forces, go to 93x.com. Here's what Tony had to say about you. He said, Bryce is an amazing dad. We got a photo of you and your kids here, Bryce.
Very cute.
Awesome. Thank you.
How old are the kids now? You got a boy and a girl there.
Yep. So my daughter turns 9 next month, and then my son is 15.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Here's what it says. Bryce is an amazing dad and automotive performance shop owner who served 2 terms in Afghanistan and Turkey and on the Syrian border. He's a huge influence in the Minnesota car community and a daily listener of the Half-Assed Morning Show. We sure appreciate that, Bryce.
No problem. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys. It's awesome waking up in the morning and then having, good laughs all the way to work.
Well,
yeah, especially that 45-minute commute. You get to hear a lot of us.
Jesus.
Exactly.
Get to know us pretty friggin' quickly. 2 terms in Afghanistan and Turkey and on the Syrian border. Wow, that must have been something.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. The Turkey one, in the military world, they're like, I don't know if that's quite a deployment because it wasn't really combat. We were more so, just to make sure Syria didn't feel froggy and start sending missiles over to Turkey. So it was still a lot of fun and definitely awesome to see different parts of the world. And that was one of the biggest things, is just being able to see the world was so cool about being in the military.
Your kids aren't listening, are they? I was going to ask you about those strip joints.
What are they like over there?
Well, when I was in Germany, they were pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
I got a buddy who was a submarine guy, and anytime we ask him to go to the boom boom room, he says, hell no, there's nothing that compared to what I saw. He's like, I'm not going to a boom boom room here in town after what I saw in this country and that country.
That's funny. My cousin was also in a submarine, and he has a lot of those stories as well. He's been kicked out of some of the best of them.
I shouldn't have turned the conversation that way, Bryce. I apologize.
You're good. You're good.
Hey, man, we just want to say thanks, and we're happy to get to know you a little bit. We hope we see you again sometime. Army Specialist Bryce Bierke, thanks for listening. Thanks for everything, and have a great weekend.
No problem. You guys, too.
Yeah, maybe try to get on that friggin' fall boat party. We'd like to party with you.
Oh, it'd be awesome. And if it breaks down, we know who can fix it.
Right?
Add a couple of HP to that thing.
Thanks, Bryce.
All right, you guys have a good weekend.
And again, a heads up, if you want to highlight a veteran or active duty service member, get on our website. We got some more opportunities in the coming weeks to get to know these folks. And again, thanks to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch.
That was fun. This has been a really cool thing.
Friggin' guy can fix anything.
I know. It's frustrating. He has the courage to, be a part of the military, and he can fix anything.
Dang.
Pretty cool stuff. Once again, we are going to, any second now.
Yeah, we got to go.
We'll be leaving the station here. We're headed to the Minnesota State Fair. The plan is to be there about 10 to noon. We love it if you could come and join us. But before we go, a couple of shout-outs. Happy birthday to Sawed-Off Candy Jesus from Homegrown Singo Jesus and Not Sleeping with the Basketball Mom Anymore Jesus. They're all listening from Tennessee. We appreciate that. Happy birthday to Warning Lights Junior Jesus from It Can Only Beat Jared Jesus and everyone at Warning Lights of Minnesota. And for everyone else, have a sexy weekend.
Oh.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals.